Hello, everyone, and welcome in to potentially the final Ball Mania stream of the year. It's almost full. I've got 8 entries left to do. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to 0 on this stream. I'm joined today by Daniel Racz. Chess Liam is going to hop in a little bit later. Then I'm going to go do Fantasy Feud on Peter Overzet's channel. That is shaping up to be one of the events of the summer. If you have not yet, go check out the FFPC main event draft that I did last night with Evan Silva, Rich Rebar, Pat Thorman, and JJ Zacharyson. Also, if you have not deposited on Underdog using this $1,000 deposit match that they're doing right now, using promo code Davis, you should. And of course, remember to comment on all of these videos for your chance to win 5% of $1.5 million post-tax. Daniel, welcome to the program. How you doing, man?
Excited to be here. First day of classes, so just got out of my first and excited to draft BBMs just as I was doing before class this morning.
I literally just made my last pick on yet another Drake May team. It's unbelievable. As of right now, Ball Mania 5. Let's see here. Ball Mania 5, I have 9 teams left to do. It is, how full is it? It is 93.6% full. So maybe it won't fill today. But I honestly, I don't want to leave it up to chance. I mean, can you imagine doing 148 or 149?
Yeah, so
Sickening.
last year I got to 150 maybe 2 days before close or a day. I get an email at 99.67 or 8% full. The one of them had been canceled. I got in the third to last BBM to back hit 150. The team was terrible.
I never got my Cactus, so I'm assuming that either they forgot to send me a Cactus got sent to someone who had no idea why they got a Cactus, or the same thing happened to me and I never noticed it, that they canceled one of my drafts. I deleted the email and I didn't read it, and something like that happened. But absolutely a bummer. I mean, imagine a little Cactus back here on the shelf. I mean, you hate to see it. All right, we drew the 109. Could be worse. Could be better. I don't hate the 109. You get a good running back there, and then you just cannot. It's kind of like building the CMC team, but on the other side of the board. You know, you do your CMC style thing where you don't take another running back till round 8, but you just do it with different players. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 no Badgers in the room, Daniel. Can we cook?
There's no shot we're getting Bijan or Brees at 9 here, but there are worse places to be. I multi-tabled 2 112s yesterday, which might be the worst experience I've had drafting.
Yeah, sickening. I mean, are you not you're a zoomer, dude. You can't just multi-table with your eyes closed?
When it's the 112, it's just a pain. Like reaching up for Nico, Puka on one team, and I was like Waddle. I think Waddle, Puka was the other.
Well, it is a pain to have the 112, but actually, real multi-tablers, real OGs know when you're multi-tabling, you actually want turn picks. You actually want 101s. You actually want 112s. If you're trying to do like 5 drafts at a time, that is ideal. If you're trying to knock out 5 or 6 when they, like let's say Ball Mania fills today and they launch a puppy 4 that's like 50,000 entrants. I mean, if you're firing out like 7 of those at a time on a 20-second clock, you want a ton of turn picks. That is super efficient.
Yeah, that's awesome. Going for a walk and getting a turn is so nice when you can then put your phone away for like 6 to 8 minutes reliably between the sets of picks. But when I'm trying to actually win money, I do not enjoy having the 112.
Correct. I mean, that is what it is. You have the longest possible wait time between picks. Chalk start here. Honestly, when you see a no Badger at 3, that is when I'm starting to be like, oh yeah, Brees Hall is coming all the way up. Although I suppose for a no Badger, they might be being like, wait, Derrick Henry's not the 3rd overall pick. Like if you're doing your first fantasy football draft of the year, I assume some people probably are just going to be like, there you go, there's Brees at 4. We might get Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase at the 109.
Yeah, I had a
this guy knows ball.
My draft this morning had a no badge 112 go Henry Nico. So I don't know if it was a week 17 thing but would love Chase.
All right. Well, we are going to get one wide receiver who you never get here.
AJ?
Yeah. No, fuck. All right. So the no badge thing helps us in no way. literally, we got absolutely nothing out of that experience.
Yeah, but still 3 more on the other side of the turn, so hopefully one of them.
I do. I think that after Best Ball Mania fills, my guess is they probably give up on, well, not give up. They don't really care. They don't really care about the sprint and the marathon overlaying it all, actually. Like, that is good advertising for them. Keeps people on the site, keeps the high rollers happy. You know, the edge grinders of the world will be happy, and they don't really care. So I bet they will give us a puppy 4, I guess, or puppy 4. How many, if they do that, let's say tomorrow morning, puppy 4 launches, how many teams are you putting in, Daniel?
I'm taking a train back to New York this weekend, going to the US Open Saturday. So probably 20,
Sick. Yeah.
20 across the whole tournament. Would love to hit more. If BBM stays open through the weekend, I'll try and get more of those.
No shot. All right, we are on the clock.
London?
Yeah, I don't really want to take Jonathan Taylor.
No.
All right, wide receiver start. AJ Brown, Drake London. I mean, not that combinatorially unique. I would have done Jahmyr Gibbs, actually.
I would have as well.
I'm pretty in. I agree with this. I do think $50 is it's a weird price point where it's like the people who would want to enter a big dog are like $50. Like, what am I going to grind out 150 of these? And then the people who want to do 150 puppies are like $50. I could do 10 drafts for that many. You know, it's like, I don't think it's a bad price point. I just think it's a weird one. It's just hard for the type of people who are on Underdog, I think.
It feels weird format specific, because if there was a $50 large tournament like BBM, I think that would be happy for some high rollers. But if you're trying to allocate bankroll to a new tournament, you might want to think twice if it's such a high price point. But I like the marathon at 15.
I like the marathon conceptually. It's like, I think that type of tournament should exist, and I think people should want to draft in it. But I just didn't have the time. Because I was like, I just wanted to fire as many teams as like I humanly could. I mean, not as many as sacrilegious. So, but I wanted to fire as many as I possibly could. And so it was more fun. Yeah, like this, like the Chow Chow was $50, and it like, I think I got one team in. I was like traveling for a weekend. I got one team in. I
got 7. That was I just set up one night, did one at a time consistently. That was a fun one. Hope we get another $50, $75, like 3, 5, 10 max.
I don't know. What would I prefer? A $50, $75 single entry, or just the ability to hammer 70 more Xavier Worthy, Samaj P. Ryan teams? I honestly, I might do the latter, but it's hard to say. Troy, thank you, man. That was a very kind thing to say. Still watching, even though you're not drafting anymore. This is the fact that it was at 150 max, I think, is also like, next year they should think about making it like a 50 max or something, because I can see someone new coming in and being like, what, I want to draft against 150 Jewish McCaffrey teams? Like, no, thank you.
Wow, Rashid, 3-6.
I think that's honestly, I moved him up ahead of this, and my redraft rankings, like my home league rankings, I moved Rashi to 26, I think. But I mean, and that might even be low. You Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin gets snapped by the Bijan correlation, man. Bijan, Cup, McLaurin.
What do you make the odds that drafter knows that Bijan plays Terry week 17?
That drafter could totally be a guy who like has subscribed to ETR and knows about week 17 correlation, but it doesn't understand how to be price sensitive is totally what, or maybe it was just a mistake. Maybe it was just a star method mistake. Okay. We are on the clock. Honestly, I don't really want to take Brandon Ayuk. I think there's enough smoke there to take Diggs. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm good with Diggs. If it was a chance where I feel confident we get Pickens in the 5th, I'd love to take them both. I think the market's still pricing in an Ayuk to Pittsburgh type thing with Pickens, going ADP 39 now. I can get him reliably in the mid to early 5th. But man, the comments from Kyle Shanahan, I think he views it as like an affront to him personally, that Ayuk's trying to secure generational money and won't play until he gets his contract.
No, that's literally the Shanahan deal, Daniel. Like,
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan, I think Kyle Shanahan has a massive ego. And he believes, oh, I can win games with Nick Mullins. I can win games with Jacob Cowing. I can win, and he does that. He shows that lack of humility with his draft picks too. Trading up for running backs, trading up for Lance. There really does need to be someday a documentary about the whole process of trading up for Lance. Like, whose idea was it? Was the reports that they actually wanted Mac Jones ever true? Or was
They
that a
did want,
smokescreen?
they definitely wanted Mac. I know Kyle's best friend, who's some sports agent, has confirmed that they wanted Mac. Not necessarily that they decided on Mac or that they had Mac over Trey, but they really liked Mac as a prospect.
That's a great sliding glass doors moment. What happens to the careers of those players if the reverse happens? If Trey Lance goes to anywhere else, because that was a high pressure environment for Trey Lance to go into. The team was already good. What happens if he goes into a spot where he can develop a little bit more and Mac Jones is not the heir apparent to Tom Brady?
Yeah.
All right, well, I think we're going to have to take Brandon Ayuk here if he doesn't go. Okay, he goes, so that saves us from having to make the decision. Yeah, that's the paint by numbers start, and it's a pretty good one. A.J. Brown, Drake London, Steph Diggs, Jalen Hurts. I mean, I actually would legitimately bet I've got on 800 teams, I mean, I might have 10 of this exact start.
Yeah.
Just combinatorial, which is fine.
Another 10 with Dell instead of Diggs.
Yeah. If you have 150 Brock Bowers teams, you should just feel that you are due for some wealth soon. I am choosing to, very much like my friend Jacob Sanderson, I read that Brock Bowers has a foot injury, and I just move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I got him in the 6th and a few of the 350s on FFPC. Tight end 2 with Kittle in the 4th, and those feel fine. Pierce to come out and say that, Bowers is going to be great for week 1. This was all precautionary, but.
Yes. I actually, so this is where I started out with the P. Ryan thing. I was like, this is Carlos Hyde, LaShawn McCoy all over again. And I thought about it, and I listened to Gretsch talk about it. And I'm now more on the continuum of, who was my brain is so dust from doing all these drafts. I was talking with someone yesterday. I literally can't remember who. But I think it's now on a scale of 0 to 100, I think it's 65 that he's the McKinnon role at some point in the season, as opposed to my initial thought was it was 40% to be the McKinnon role.
Yeah, I think above 50 is probably the right handicap. Love that the late third Pacheco drafters are getting a poor run at, because man, that was a bad pick.
I definitely have some of him there. I can't claim that I don't, just for that guy. I mean, the Kareem Hunt season is what you'd want replicated. The first Kareem Hunt season, the one where he got cut in the middle of it, he was pacing to be the best running back. I think he had 14 touchdowns in 10 games the year that he got cut.
Was he cut mid-year or just placed on exempt and then cut? No,
they just cut him.
Okay.
They just, I guess don't 100% quote me on that, but I'm fairly certain that's how it went. Yes, I am playing college football on Underdog. I did a stream Tuesday morning drafting some of the battle royales, although I can only do it with a partner because I can't draft them in Missouri. And Daniel can't do anything. You can't even bet on college sports in New York, right?
I think you can. You can't do the Underdog drafts. You can't do the player props, but I think spreads, money line, stuff like that. DC similar. So
someone posted this in my Discord yesterday that 450 receiving yards for P. Ryan last year is more than Watson, Tony, and Sky and MVS, I believe.
Wow.
Which is, I mean, isn't that insane? Think about that. They had all these wide receivers who were useless. All right, we are up in one pick. I would do Kenneth Walker here.
I was going to say, I'm fine with that.
Around to us.
I think the receivers are going to fall more likely, so I'm happy taking Walker than going wide out.
Yes, we will likely get one of Rome or Keenan or a Green Bay guy coming around, which sets up It really depends on what the teams after us are doing at running back. But well, okay, we had 3 high T drafters behind us, so I think you're right. I think that was the right move. We might see a Rashad White or Joe Mixon snap pick here.
I would love if someone who had the power to do the data work on using the badge as a proxy for running backs picked in early rounds.
You know, there are a lot of high volume drafters who still draft running backs though. Like there will be guys who are snapping Najee off and stuff. I bet Daniel is actually too young to have even been a Simpsons person. My favorite Simpsons season is season 4. But I bet Daniel has never watched a classic episode of The Simpsons.
I've probably seen 10 to 15 seasons, but they were all when I was much younger, so I don't have the best memory. But there was a great Twitter thread recycling some clips. There was the Homer in the food conveyor belt trying to test if it could satiate his appetite, and then it turns out it blinds him and he doesn't know there's food.
Incredible. I mean that is my favorite show of all time. I honestly never get sick of it. We might have made the wrong bet here. Rome, snap pick. Kirk, snap pick. Jaden Reed. Okay, Deontay Johnson goes, so we don't have to sweat that. Where's Deontay Johnson at in the legendary upside rankings? Fat Keenan? Oh, how appropriate. Okay, we got to take Keenan when you come on.
Yeah.
Condé Nast's Keenan Allen, selected with pick 64.
I think Perfect. Deontay's maybe 2 spots behind ADP, something like that. But I take him at ADP. I think the Panthers have a nice upside case if Bryce is 20% of the number 1 pick he was billed to be by his fans.
It's got to be more than 20%. 20% wouldn't even get him to Darnold, I don't think. Oh, yeah. No. This is coming. The 1 hour slow draft clock is coming. Are you in any? I'm still in about 70.
Nah, the only slows I've done this year are the FFPC 350s, and that's co-managed. I auto too much. My rate of missing picks and forgetting is too high to justify it.
In slow, I guess are you a full-time student?
Yeah.
So, man, I don't know, man. You don't do any slow drafts, so your total volume is not that high.
Yeah, I also was out of the country until June 1st, so I couldn't do anything before June 1st. So I'm only at 200, 250. I tried to max the Badge Bros Brawl, but I got 30, 35 deep. But I think that contest had a huge edge.
What was your thought on the huge edge there? Because I was you probably just people like me blindly firing without thinking about it.
I think the returns to wide receiver are pretty diminishing. I think teams were going 9-10 receiver, which I thought was too much. There were a lot of teams I saw taking only 2 quarterbacks. I think that's not optimal. I was doing 3 or 4. I think 4 might be overdoing it, but I'm so confident the field was under on quarterback. So I would do a lot of Matt Stafford, Tua, the guys not really being drafted, just stacking them to try and get for the 150 final. If it's Stafford on a Puka Cup team, I even had some Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, occasionally Mike Williams. And I was very high on the elite tight ends. I was 50 to 30% on Laporta, Kelsey, McBride, Andrews, and tried to just get 2 of those every draft and mix in some Kincaid.
I was going to say that was what I did in those contests. Was I took a ton of McBride and Kelsey and Laporta all together.
Those were 3 of my highest exposure players besides Tua.
You know what? I have way fewer than 70 slows left. I just looked here. I probably have 30 slows left, which that's totally manageable. Mm-hmm. Some of them are weekly winners, so I just I click and I see if a running back makes sense, and if a running back makes sense, I just take Samaj Pirine.
Mm-hmm. How many weeks over under 15.5 half PPR points this year for him?
How many weeks with 15.5 PPR points?
Half PPR. Okay.
One. But I would also say that for Cam Akers, Alexander Madison, Roshan Johnson, all the total dustbins left at that slot.
You could convince me the over-under on Pirine should be 1.5, juiced on the under. But
I mean, if you told me that he doesn't ever make it off the practice squad for them, I would also believe you. I would be well, yeah, sure. That's definitely likely. Okay. Warren is a second running back.
Odds are pretty high we get Warren in the 8th, though. So I'd be good.
Hollywood. Yeah, I was going to say Hollywood is a good pick here.
I got him at 99 last night on a Mahomes.
I got him in a 9th round too. Yeah.
Yeah. With Worthy?
Zach is down to 216 slows remaining. I mean, Zach, I have faith in your abilities, but you were going to auto some of these picks when it switches to a 1 hour clock. There's just no way around it.
It's going to be fun for him to finally talk to his wife after a summer in the basement. So,
man, my wife, she's just like, she was trying to explain to someone Underdog the other day, and she's like, I don't know. He's just always on that fucking app. She's like, that app is just always open. I mean, truly, I've got 2 puppies in my house right now, and I'm just walking around with my phone open, like in the middle of Best Ball Manias, just like, I got 2 puppies under my arm. I'm carrying them around. I got the phone open. I'm like, I haven't missed a pick yet. Sack says he will take action on missing 0 picks. I mean, shout out to you, dude. Shout out to you. I hope that's true, and I hope you get a binker there. But I would, once it gets to 1 hour clocks, I am probably a favorite to have an auto pick here or there between DraftKings and Underdog. So we do get our pick of the running backs coming back.
Any correlation to push us off Warren?
No Cowboy, no Commander, no Raven.
Not
no
taking
Seahawks.
Swift.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say the other thing we could do, my Bowers exposure is insane, but that is our only way to get an elite. I mean, this could be a 3 tight end team. I'd
go Warren.
Okay.
Pretty comfortably.
Yeah. Let's just add on to these bags, man. My Jacquard is not getting help from these late drafts. My Jacquard remains Jacquarded. There's just nothing. It's like no matter what I do. Jalen Warren is a good pick, though. Hollywood Brown, Jalen Warren at the 7-8 turn. What is that? What? I mean, this shouldn't be allowed. You shouldn't be able to go. You shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah. We had to burn our 6th round pick on a player who's going to be like game day inactive with tummy aches pretty early in the season. But
you know, I obviously feel very good about Rome relative to cost, and I don't think he is the sequel to JSN. But it really would not surprise me if Rome is the sequel to JSN and Keenan just kind of has 1,100, receiving yards, 6 touchdowns.
That would surprise me.
You'd legitimately be surprised if he duplicated like his career averages with Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Maybe not. It's not out of the range of outcomes, but
speak on that. Speak on how you are projecting that personally.
I mean, I think early season Keenan sets up really strong, but Rome, such a strong prospect, like 9th overall picks. Obviously, you want to apply some context to top 15 wideouts because Rome's probably in the most crowded receiver room that any's went to. But these guys rarely fail to hit like 700, 800, 900 receiving yards the rookie year. Some get hit by injuries. Some have been boss. Like Kevin White. Did he even play his rookie year?
Did Kevin White even play his rookie year? Honestly, I should know that. But I bet he played a little bit. Man, I liked him too. Kevin White, college teammates with Stedman. No, not Stedman Bailey. There's another guy who he was college teammates with who ended up playing.
He was drafted. Tavon, right? Tavon was before him.
No, that was a different year. He did play. He got 36 targets, 19 receptions, 187 yards. Do you know that Kevin White was in the NFL as recently as 2022?
Saints, right?
Yeah, Saints.
Yeah.
Do I wake up in a panic every day at this point because there's so many drafts to do in less than a week? Honestly, I'm just barely sleeping right now is the answer. So I'm waking up in a panic, just mad about not being able to sleep. Like I think I started my stream yesterday. I don't remember when, early. And I got done with my last recording at like 9:30 at night. I was just like, which is like, I know this happens every single year for me, where it's like you start getting main events and Best Ball Mania is just like, that just is what it is. So honestly though, Daniel, I'm worried my brain is mush, and I'm worried that I'm not drafting as well as I could because my brain is not functioning as well as it needs to be.
Just reinforcement bias of, I've clicked a player a ton. so I will keep doing it. Like
I'll
Jalen Warren
keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm at that point. Waddle in the mid-second. I was like, oh, this was a great pick in the late second, and I'm just not even applying an ounce of critical thought.
Well, because if I started to apply critical thought, then it would mean that everything I did for the last 6 months is wrong before I even got to test the hypothesis. I've just decided it's wrong, which I don't know. I mean, like I am doing stuff right now, like drafting like Zach Moss a little bit. I think I've got up to 9% Moss now.
I was at like 2% when he was 7-8 turn range. I'm probably up to 5 now. I'd love to keep pushing it like 9-10 turn, especially now that we have the P Rind information.
Okay. Couple things we could do here.
Moss, Njoku.
We could do Moss. The Rome drafter is behind us, but they have Josh Allen. We could take Njoku as our stab at an elite tight end. We could do. I'm fine with any of these options.
I'd be good with Njoku or Moss.
All right, let's do Njoku and hope that we can push Moss around because there's another legendary upside target that we can snap.
Have you seen Njoku's Twitter?
No.
Oh, he's like quote tweeting people that are drafting him in fantasy and stuff. It's a boost, I'd say.
I was gonna say, is it bullish or is he saying? Because you can always tell when it's guys like Kyle Pitts who are like, I hate fantasy football. Fantasy football is fucking stupid. That's as bearish as a bear signal could be. All right, Zach Moss does go. Rico Dowdle goes. Okay, so both of the guys we wanted did get snapped off there. It happens. And this guy's going to frickin' take Caleb. So every guy that we had in our queue is about to go. Don't do it, man. You have Josh Allen. You don't need. And Wicks goes. All right, these. I think we've got either some. I can't. Well, okay. We've got Hurts. Okay.
Yeah, Njoku Goddard as the 2 tight ends, and then we're done.
That's totally fine. I think.
Yeah.
That's so annoying. I'm still a little annoyed by that. I don't think Dallas Goedert is a very good pick in fantasy football. I really only take him with Jalen Hurts.
The correlation on Hurts teams for Goddard is probably 60%.
I was going to say that's got to be of the non-guys who go at the turn, like Lamar Andrews, Mahomes, Kelsey. There's another one. Pitts, not Pitts.
Kittle, Purdy.
Kincaid, Allen, Kittle, Purdy. Like the non-elite guys, the Goddard drafter has to be the Hurts drafter at like the highest amount. Yeah. Dallas Goedert is the most Jason Witten-ass tight end of all time. People sort of remember this from when Goddard was Trey McBride. Like, remember when Goddard was playing behind Zach Ertz, and it was like he'd play and he'd run like 40% of the routes and he'd look really good. Goddard's career high in yards is 830. His career high in touchdowns is 5. And he plays with a team that doesn't really throw the ball in the red zone because they have the most efficient red zone rusher in the NFL playing quarterback. I would, truth serum time, I think I would like straight up take Noah Fant in fantasy football over Dallas Goedert.
No. Jump in the shark. I think Goddard's a fine pick.
That's mostly what I do. I
mean, Goddard's going to play week 1.
Yes, he is. Here's the deal. I actually think this is probably true. There are a lot of different. I updated the redraft rankings yesterday and the best ball rankings yesterday. I literally have been so busy that I have not had like 7 minutes to upload my own rankings into the draft applet on Underdog though, but they are updated there. This is a great question. Who is the player you disagree most with Zach, Karain, Kyle, and Drico?
Kyle Pitts, probably.
Wow. In a negative way?
Yeah, dude sucks. I don't know. I'm fine being wrong.
I'm very open to it, but aren't you worried about being the diamond gem guy?
Maybe. I saw Kirk took the whole team out to the water park. Pitts was the only one with a life vest, so. But
that was the most bearish. If this is true, I'm gonna rope.
No.
It can't possibly be true. Someone check the Discords. Okay, no one's saying anything. This can't be true.
I'm on the artist formerly known as Twitter. Nothing.
The life jacket has nothing to do with Pitts' race. It has to do with a literal NFL player being in a life jacket.
Yeah.
If I saw Kirk Cousins in a life jacket, I would be like, that's insane.
Yeah. It was only a 2-foot pool. I don't know.
That was very rude, man. That was very rude. Because my bags of Khalil Herbert are not even particularly packed either. Oh God, it's not true. Not true.
Feels like we dodged a bullet with that one being false.
Complete fake news. That would that would really own my soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Brown's safe.
Okay. We can stop hating on Dallas Goedert and other various tight ends. I think Kirk Cousins is good enough that even a bad tight end, like is Kyle Pitts better than Kyle Rudolph?
What Probably. Year Kyle Rudolph?
29-year-old Kyle Rudolph. All right, we got to make a pick in one. Our tier of running backs did get decimated, but there is one guy that I like more. I really need to upload my rankings. I think Trey Benson is the pick here.
Sounds good.
I think Benson with Carter out is this is a case of the fantasy football market loves to respond to new information. Sometimes, oh, Samaj Pirine is a Bengal. Or Samaj Pirine is a Chief. We can't take Pacheco here. We got to take Pirine here. But Michael Carter was playing a ton of third downs last year and is now just not on the team. It's Amari DiMercado, James Conner, who misses a minimum of 2 games every year and is 29 years old, and Trey Benson. What's the functional difference between Benson and Corum?
Corum's going to mix in like 2 drives to 1 drive, I think, quite early in the season, whereas Benson is much more of a contingent play. But I think he's a fine contingent play, like Charbonnet around this range last year.
What if Benson mixes in for a drive?
Charbonnet eventually carved out the role. I think Benson will get there, but you're not getting like the distribution for Benson. There's so few usable weeks there until Connor goes down, unless he's much better than every camp report has indicated.
All right. We're pretty dead at quarterback here. This is a very bad range of running backs. Not a particularly great range at wide receiver. Yeah. What would you like to do?
Chandler went, so I was going to float him. I'm good with Charbonnet if we need to. Happy to reach on Kirk and just
Yes, yeah. Let's just do that and get it done. Because what is a reach doing for us right here? He very unlikely would come back to us because the Pitts drafter only has Jaden Daniels, and he took Pitts a little bit ahead of ADP, and he gets 2 cracks at it, so that's fine.
Late in the year, too, I think the drafters are way less likely to stack. That's one of the battles I've had with Jacob whenever we draft together, where he's trying to push quarterbacks a round or 2. Like, when you do the 2v2 with, like, probabilities of 100% Kirk versus maybe 25% at the next pick, you're losing so much. Like, so many good teams. You're sacrificing 99.9th percentile rosters, but cutting your rate of, like, 80th to 60th when you don't just take the quarterbacks that are so heavily correlated.
And in August, no one's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dallas Goedert is the Austin Collie of Sam Laporta's.
What if
that's not my best work?
What if he's like the Travis Kelce of Austin Hoopers?
Austin Hoopers. I could see it. I could definitely see it. I can see it. I don't buy it. To me, he is Spider-Man pointing meme with the other tight ends that we think their upside is scoring 7 touchdowns, like Conklin, Hunter Henry, these guys. Because he really, the Eagles' offense will be so concentrated on the 2 wide receivers. And even Barkley, I bet this will be the most times Jalen Hurts in his career ever throws to a running back.
Yeah, but does that really move the needle much for Goddard? Maybe Barkley, he throws 2%.
Well, it's already a low volume passing offense. Like, they scaled up in volume last year because the defense played poorly and they ended up trailing in a bunch of games, but that's not my base expectation for them.
pace of play is going to be faster. And also, huge part of Goddard, I think, is at least theoretical contingent value. On this team, if Devonta Smith goes down, we corner like 2 capable players in the passing attack.
Yes. The Jeremy Shockey of Dallas Clarks. No, Jeremy Shockey was like kind of a cultural movement, man. He was Jeremy Shockey was a culturally relevant player. Yeah. Pierre Strong, I'm out. They're a lot better. 18th round picks at running back. I'll give you some better 18th round picks at running back right now. Shipley, Akers the aforementioned Pirine, CEH, Emmanuel Wilson, Isaac Urendo, to any Colts player. Probably not Sermon. So who is the Colts' third running back right now?
Oh, Goodson, right? Tyler Goodson?
Okay, Tyler Goodson from the University of Iowa, sure. But did any of these other tight ends get knocked out by a sucker punch from Miranda at a bar? That's true. That's very true. All right. We are up. I think that worked out quite nicely because Herbert went. No one else that I really wanted went. Braylon Allen, Khalil Herbert. Maybe Khalil Herbert ends up on the Bengals. I think it's Braylon, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, well, we have a little bit of correlation with Keenan and Walker. What would the sidekick tell us to do?
Probably Herbert 60% of the time, but it's almost a coin flip. So
but Braylon, the thing that the sidekick doesn't know is that Braylon Allen is only 19 years old. Yeah. They got to learn.
Yeah.
Do an impression of Overzet. I literally couldn't do an impression of Peter because it would just me be doing an impression of Peter doing an impression of me. So, not ideal. I wonder, when is Michael Thomas going to sign with the Minnesota Vikings? That feels like just like a lock, but it hasn't happened yet. So I think
he might be done. I don't know if he wants to keep playing. Not trying to too much psychoanalyze him, but
he definitely doesn't want to play. But it's so funny. Wide receivers give up early. Like really good wide receivers give up early, but Dalvin Cook and Melvin Gordon are like, sure, I'll be on the practice squad. That's crazy.
Yeah, Will Fuller's been doing sponsorships like a Colombian drug company for a year or two. Maybe it's not Colombian, somewhere in South America, just on a beach. He's there with his daughter, and he pulled the plug so fast.
The year that Karain won Best Ball Mania, Will Fuller was his most drafted wide receiver for a while.
I had more Fuller than Waddle when they were both going to like the 7-8 turn as the Dolphins, and then Parker was in the 8th or 9th, and I'll never live that down.
How many BBM 5s? I have 8 left. 8 more. Gonna do at least one more here on the stream. Liam's gonna come on when Daniel's done. All right. Herbert might come back around to us. There's not really a wide receiver I care about at all here. We are done at tight end.
Yeah,
We're probably done. We're probably done at quarterback. I mean, we could do like a vanity Drake May pick, but
no, this seems like a 2-6-8-2.
2-6-8-2. All right, so Herbert or do we have a correlated piece here? Not really. Mooney's gone. Sure, Khalil Herbert. Yeah. Come on down, brother. I don't. Weirdly, I don't really like doing 2-6-8-2s.
Why?
Just I don't know. Just like I just always feel I'm like that 6th running back is never scoring a single point for me, and I could have just taken Drake May or Sam Darnold or something, and they would have had one 27-point game when it really would have helped me. Or the same thing at tight end. Like what if I took Tucker Kraft on this team instead of Audric Estime? Audric Estime plays 7 snaps on the entire year. And, Tucker Kraft is out there all the time and scores 4 touchdowns, including a 2-touchdown game in week 15 or something.
I'd like to play that when I have quarterbacks where I can attach the round 17, round 18 QB or tight end to the quarterback. Like if Tucker Kraft does that, Jordan Love probably had an awfully nice week, and I'd love for that to be on my roster instead of competing against the teams that got that 2-for-1.
Okay. I'm 130 into the DK Millie. I'll get maxed in the DK Millie for sure. Are you on DK at all? Or you don't have the time at all?
Haven't touched it this year. More out of time. Did some last year. have had like, more success. You just draft better teams, the rake is higher. It's a way worse platform to use.
It's so much harder to use. It's just pain. My whole time I've been it's not true the whole time. I definitely after the read option touchdown, I was like, Drake May starting week 1. You don't put the genie back in the bottle. I think he starts week 6. I believe that he probably starts week 6.
I'd set the line at 4.5, maybe 5.5.
All I really care about is that he starts week 6 because then that means that my Mahomes May teams are safe.
Yeah.
And if my Mahomes May teams are not safe, I've got a lot of that combo, so we're gonna be in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, we're up in. Oh, go ahead on May.
I was trying to think on my most drafted player with May at quarterback. Which of the early QBs?
I was going to say, what's the legendary upside early quarterback strategy?
I mean, I have a lot of Richardson, I think more than most, but just the week 14 bye makes that not feasible. And Mahomes and Hurts had me a little spooked on buys in case I'm like 1 to 2 weeks off on my May starting estimation. That could sink so many teams. So combinatorially, I'm probably close to 0 on those combos.
Bo Nix and Drake May having the same bye week as Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, and Anthony Richardson it's just cool.
And man.
CJ. Yeah, unbelievable. Because Stroud and May or Stroud and Nix would be perfect. Okay.
Dortch?
Sure. Never gonna say no. Never gonna say no to Greg Dortch. We got Trey Benson already. We can take Jordan Whittington as another wide receiver. We can correlate like crazy here.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to get into Whittington more and more as we get closer to the season, and the prognosis on Puka does not sound that good. Does not sound like he is at 100% yet, and the season they play in a week.
Yeah, getting a little spooked on Puka. I've drawn the 11 and 12 quite high. I'm at 12% Garrett and Puka, so would really like to know that Puka's healthy.
Yeah, sad day in Kansas City. Andy's pet player Louis Rees-Zamet gets claimed by the Jaguars, so he doesn't get to go for free to the Kansas City Chiefs practice squad. I was really looking forward to Andy calling a ring around the rosy behind the back pass to Louis Rees-Zamet in like a wild card playoff game. Okay. We got Dortch. We can take our 6th running back of choice. In fact, I think we probably take our 6th running back of choice here because we could just take whatever we want at wide receiver. There's not anyone. And I have my 6th running back of choice.
I'd be Pirine or Akers.
All right, that's what I was gonna do too. It's just like maybe Pirine is a 0, but he's gonna be like a 15% owned 0. You know, there's gonna be like I did the math yesterday on the Swolecast. I did it wrong at first. I'm gonna take Pirine. Of course, I did it wrong at first, but we did the math, and it's like he's gonna be on like 16,000 teams or something total in the whole thing.
Yeah. I think that's probably even high. Same with Akers. That's why I think Akers
I'm giving him some credit for being drafted by some people in the 18th round the whole time.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think Akers...
He had an ADP. What do I think Akers is? Akers will be... I bet Akers was taken on fewer teams before he played in the preseason game, the Hall of Fame game and stuff. I bet he was on 0 teams. I bet he had not been clicked once. Whereas I bet that Pirine had been clicked. Like we were talking about Pirine on like ADP chasing being like, well, he's a good CLB pick because he's going to end up somewhere where he plays. Yeah. How early am I taking Malik Washington? Correlated, I would probably take him ahead of these group of guys who just went, like Pearsall. The Greg Dortch is a good line. I moved him way up in my rankings.
Correlated, I'd take him higher. I think
I'd take him even
playing
higher.
Playing time is so clear. Super low owned rookie. You know, there is the what if he's actually good potential that you can't get with like Marvin Mims.
We care about buys on quarterbacks specifically because 20 points is well within the margin to like have a good team not advance. So like if you had a good team and you were in second place and there was another good team in third place, taking a stone zero at quarterback in week 14 would send you to a spot where maybe a good team would not advance. Yeah, see a BBM team with Dobbins and Samaje round 17, 18. ETR had him in their rankings the whole time. So I think about 15, 18% ownership. But even still, a Kansas City Chiefs running back at 15% ownership in a 660,000 person tournament where Clyde Edwards-Helaire is like 60% owned and Pacheco is 100% owned is a good pick.
Yeah, 1.5% of teams having Pirine. That's awesome to hold. I think Akers will probably be a third of that at absolute most. And I think the path for him to usurping Mixon is pretty feasible. And I'm probably at field with Mixon. I don't want to be under on any Texan.
Yeah. I mean, I was taking Pierce, so I better be taking some Akers now, you know.
Yeah,
and I don't think honestly, I don't think Pierce is dead either.
I don't either. I remember Singletary last year. Like at leg up, we thought he was pretty dead when it seemed like his role was way different than we thought in the preseason. And then it turned out that he rose from the dead and was an incredibly live pick, partially or exclusively due to Dameon Pierce being an inept runner in the Slowick system.
All right. Well, this is the peril of streaming your drafts and talking about what players you like. Every wide receiver that I like to take is completely gone. Malik is gone. McCaffrey's gone. Freaking Ray McLeod is gone.
Malachi
Mims is gone. Sure, yeah. I mean, I honestly like Malachi Corley. I was like, great prospect. Enjoy him. Think he's fun. Really hate him going to the Jets. Really hate him with Hackett. Honestly, don't even love him with Rodgers. I'm not taking Noah Brown on the Commanders, really. And I would prefer Jalen Naylor to be on a Vikings team. But I'll do whatever. Do you have a great scroll the F down guy for me?
No. Khalif Raymond's fine, but in half PPR, it feels like the most you're getting is 13 points. Maybe if he gets a kick return touchdown.
Khalif Raymond is... I think I'd rather take this guy, Isaiah Williams. Honestly. 5th round pick who made the team.
I mean, there are a ton of other options. Not Quentin Johnston, of course, but
not QJ. Trey Tucker is like he's like my total backstop. Like when I'm literally like I can't think of what else to do. I take that guy a lot. Cowing is like you got to know so much ball to take Jacob Cowing. It's a very good Ayuk fade pick. Osborne, I like a little bit. I guess I would really only ever take him with May.
Hyatt
is like the... If I want to dupe with a bunch of established the run subscribers, I'll take Hyatt. What about Flournoy? Flournoy
no.
made the team. All right, we'll do Hyatt. I won't ruin your $12.50 worth of equity.
Yeah, when Jalen Hyatt gets his 1-3-87 in 1 week this year, just has to happen at the end of the season.
I'm not taking Josh Reynolds. I was not taking. So Jalen Brooks. Did you read the Sean Siegel article about Jalen Tolbert?
Not yet, but
okay. So buried in this article that's very positive about Jalen Tolbert is that a key part of it hinges on that Jalen Tolbert spent all offseason working out with Dak and like hanging out at his house and everything. And then very quickly at the end of the article, they mentioned that Jalen Brooks also did the same thing. I'm like, well, I don't really know anything about Jalen Brooks, but I kind of know that Jalen Tolbert can't really play.
Yeah.
So maybe Jalen Brooks is like the ultimate. I don't have it in me to click Johnny Wilson.
Yeah.
I'm not clicking Dotson either.
I got Dotson in the 18th round on a Hurts team yesterday. And that was like the true point where I'd take him.
Jalen Tolbert just there to get Dak's water bottle. Yeah, I don't think Josh Reynolds is a very good. I'm still taking last round. If I've got a Knicks team, I'll take Franklin or I'll take Mims.
Yeah, probably should have pushed Pirine around to see just with the wide receivers that fall off pretty quick, like Malik Washington.
But
and
it's
then,
like it's so room dependent. Like sometimes sometimes Luke McCaffrey doesn't get drafted. Sometimes Jordan Whittington doesn't get drafted. You just got to let. And this team, we only had 2 running backs through 125 picks of the draft, so we needed potential running back points more. That like, if P Ryan gets 9 in week 14, that might count on this roster. Jalen Hyatt could conceivably get 15 some weeks and not count on this roster.
But I think that there are enough deep running backs. I think Cam Akers is such a phenomenal pick. I know Pete wrote about it, where we have enough information now with guys that are uber low owned to take those darts, whereas the wide receivers that have played well at camp are getting steamed up regularly. Jalen McMillan goes 13-14 turn and probably should go much higher.
Yeah. I'm looking up the Jalen Brooks prospect comps. I've not heard of one of these players. Maybe I've heard of Darvin Kidsey, Adam Shapiro.
No,
I got nothing. I got nothing on any of these.
Yeah. How far down do we have to go till we recognize one?
Here, let me do exclude non-Power 5 conference players. Maybe that'll help. I don't think it's going to help, but it might. No, that's a different Paul Richardson. That is a different Paul Richardson somehow. Marcus Johnson, Mario Williams. There you go. Mario Williams, I do know.
Okay.
Mario Williams, I know. He transferred from Oklahoma to USC.
With Caleb
and Lincoln Riley.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Okay. Let's recap this team. Let's see if we made any mistakes here. AJ Brown, great. London, great. Diggs. So maybe an issue with taking Diggs here. Not that there was a great alternative, but a lot of the times I want to get a Texans wide receiver with Stroud. Like I want to set that up. I don't like imagine you show up to the finals and you have Diggs, but like CJ Stroud has the season that his like true believers think he can have, and you're like, sick.
Yeah, I think
CJ Stroud just threw for 5 touchdowns. My Steph Diggs did me nothing.
I think we just have to hope it's, the Hurts and Brown is the better combo. But
it's the better combo.
Dell going 29 did make Diggs a little best because we knew Nico was on the other track. And if
correct,
like Dell and Diggs are there, we take one. And then
if Stroud was here at 88, I would have taken him also, even with Hurts. They have a different bye week. It gives you super ceiling there. Walker, I think, was sharp because we thought we would get one of the Bears wide receivers coming back. We did. Hollywood at 81. I mean, that's just some insane. Like, what if I told you Hollywood plays on Thursday? What, like, if right now for the last 5% of Best Ball Mania, Schefter tweets right now, Hollywood's good to go. Shoulder feels fine. He's playing on Thursday. What happens back to his ADP?
People wouldn't react enough. I thought Hollywood was a pretty horrendous pick at the 4-5 turn. Thought he should have been.
Yeah, I know you're way too Corain pilled.
A late 6th round pick, but him missing week 1, the actual EV of that, when you look at how Best Ball Mania's prizes are distributed, is so low.
Doesn't really work.
Like, anytime really those injuries, Josh Downs, I already had like 20% down, so I wasn't really eager to push the pedal to the metal there. But anytime a player, it's like, oh, he might miss the first 2 weeks of the year. I'm like, great, if you give me 2 rounds of a discount. Whereas in like the marathon, where the ADPs are shockingly similar, missing 2 weeks actually matters. And like Jonathan Brooks's ADP was very similar here and there, and he's a uniquely terrible pick there compared to how strong of a, like, one of the ADPs has to be wrong, because if he's missing 4 weeks in a tournament where 95% of the prizes are decided in weeks 15 through 17 versus where weeks 1 through 17 are weighted equally, like same with rookie production, just when you compare those.
Warren, that was a real say the line Bart selection. Njoku and Goddard back to back. Maybe this would have been a spot to take Wicks or AD Mitchell. I think it's fine. And I think Goddard, I think you were right. Goddard is a good pick there. But like, okay, let's do the 2v2. Zach Moss and Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
Versus Trey Benson and Njoku,
Or had we wanted I mean, we would have had to reach on like Corum or some ugly running back that got 112, but Judy with Njoku would have opened up Watson, allowed us to try and push Kirk.
But I was doing Judy Watson or like Watson, Elijah Moore or whatever, but the reporting is now again so bad about Deshaun Watson's shoulder that I'm like kind of over it again. I'm just like, ugh.
I've galaxy brained myself into thinking that Amari, Judy, and Njoku correlates better without Watson because you're playing for Jameis there.
Because Jameis comes in.
Yeah, you're just getting such a bump in like pass volume and probably competency.
You just gotta hope that it doesn't get down to DTR or Tyler Huntley. Cousins, I think that was mandatory here. Honestly, we get saved a little bit with these two picks at running back. Getting Braylon Allen and Khalil Herbert, who I have ahead of ADP, phenomenal. Dortch, just a very safe pick. Just like an insanely safe pick, I think, in Best Ball Mania. Pirine, we're shooting the moon. You definitely could argue this was a mistake. Definitely should have said you take Malik Washington here and then take whatever running back comes around, and then Hyatt for round 18 is totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not I think Huntley is going to end up back on the practice squad for them. All right, I need to label this one. I just realized I have a bunch unlabeled. So if any of these teams end up being the winner, people are going to be bummed out.
But with Pirine, we have the correlation with Hollywood and Jalen Warren. So unlike Mahomes is dumping them off.
Yeah. That, man, the Steelers being non-competitive in Week 17, going to be a real issue for me. Going to be a real issue for me if the Steelers cannot find a way to score some points. Like, imagine I advance a bunch of teams to finals because the Chiefs have this nuclear season and Worthy is like who you need. And then it's just Isaiah Pacheco in Week 17, just like 22 carries, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Funniest outcome is like Justin Fields throws a pick. Justin Fields is starting in the money weeks, throws a pick 6 or 2, just keeps taking sacks and prevents the Chiefs offense from playing a full game. I don't want that to happen with my exposure, but it would be quite the bit.
All right, let's get you out of here. Daniel, tell the people about Legendary Upside and where to read your Condé Nast tweets. And Liam's going to hop on here in a second.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Daniel Racz _ writer, help me with the ranks at Leg Up. Probably will have a pod Friday if Amtrak does not delay my train significantly. So tweet about Keenan Allen, got insane traction. Pete and Gretch both fell for it, hook, line, and sinker, thinking that Keenan was reading and writing for Condé Nast about Pequod's Pizza. So really didn't think I'd get anyone. I thought there was more like media literacy there, but
insane. Yeah. All right, man. Thank you for hopping on. I appreciate you. Have a great day, and I hope Dallas Goedert ships us $1.5 million. Later, dude.
Peace.
All right, Chess Liam, how are you doing on this this beautiful August 29th afternoon?
I'm doing effing great, brother. I wrote an article a couple weeks ago about some market inefficiencies happening. And in there, I wrote about Isaiah Pacheco getting a little expensive. And I called out like Samaje Perine landing there could be a disaster. So felt nice to have that. Had a couple of Nostradamus calls, called the CeeDee Lamb extension. So I don't know, like can Pacheco still have big games? Of course. But why Pacheco was rising in drafts to me is because people were they looked at the depth chart. They go, there's no Jerick McKinnon. CH is a nothing. So they were just assuming Pacheco was a 3-down workhorse. And maybe he still could be. But
he was a 3-down workhorse for a team that won the Super Bowl. So there was a reason to believe that.
It was Chiefs go Burr plus 3-down workhorse. And that's still in the range. But I think the bet significantly changed where, Steele could squeeze him for some touches near the goal line, steal some touchdowns, and then Pirine.
As a Karsten Steele drafter, I gotta say that feels very, very unlikely. That feels insanely unlikely.
You think it's unlikely that the 240-pound human who always goes forward and looks like the juggernaut could get some short yardage carries? I don't. Yeah. I think that's pretty likely.
How am I feeling about Dalvin Cook? I think Dalvin Cook is a slight money line dog to get off the practice squad.
Yeah.
I think he's about plus 115 to be called up for an active game this year. That is my
Dalvin
opinion.
Cook is only draftable because he's sub 0% drafted or sub 1% drafted. But like
I don't even think that makes him draftable.
I wouldn't draft him, but you can at least tell yourself that story. P. Ryan,
I would rather draft Rasheen Ali.
I agreed. But P. Ryan, I mean, P. Ryan is a really good receiving back. Like, you know, ESPN Analytics always ranks him as like one of the number one receiving backs in the NFL. He's not a guy who's going to like, you know, house a ball, but he's a guy who has good contact balance and yeah, could be quite annoying for the Pacheco theorem. Pacheco's still a fine guy in the fourth. I think it was always crazy he was going to the 2-3 turn, third round pick. You know, the game we play, can Pacheco score 35 points against the Steelers to win you all the money? Of course he could, right? So he's a fine pick because of that. He's a really bad pick at the 2-3 turn where he went at the 4-5 turn most of the summer. But that's my take on. And I don't think Steele is dead. I think Steele is still a defensible guy to mix in because like the hope for Carson Steele is that he's a little bit of Kareem Hunt, right? Like Kareem Hunt was like barely faster than Steele and was a very successful running back in the NFL.
Chiefs fans are calling him Cream Hunt.
They are already.
Yeah. P. Ryan is more draftable in redraft than best ball. P. Ryan is like a legitimately good pick in redraft because if we find out in week 4 that Carson Steele is the thing and that P. Ryan is the same as Dalvin Cook and can't get off the practice squad, then you just cut him.
And if your home league has a free look, oh, you're cooking.
Yeah. I've done 2 high stakes drafts the last 2 days and I've taken P. Ryan in both of them. I think he's optimal.
Same. Before the signing too.
Wait, I took him in round 20 the night before the signing, which is very funny. Liam, we got the 4th pick, so you will get some more equity in another Justin Jefferson team. How does that feel for you?
Feels great to get that through you. I actually took a Justin Jefferson.
You're still taking Chase over Jefferson, even like I would take
Amon-Ra and Bijan over Jefferson too.
All right, well, I hope that you in the entire fantasy community get astronaut memed. You mean to tell me Justin Jefferson was the best player in fantasy? Always was. Meme. That's
I got Jefferson at the 108 today, and I was like, great. I'm gonna set up the Jefferson and Jaden Reed and Christian Watson stack.
Yeah.
Jaden Reed randomly goes at the top of the 5th, and then I didn't get Watson either, and I was like, whatever, fine. We just have a naked Jefferson team. Davis, you are playing well this year, but I think putting all your chips on a single player in the first round is not playing well.
All right, tell me, you want me to take Chase here? Or you want me to take St. Brown? I'll do it. I got 8 drafts left, including this one.
I'm okay with Jefferson. I also would float Amon-Ra or Bijan if you're spooked about the Chase contract. I am not though.
I'll do. I have 4% Amon-Ra.
Don't do Chase. I have a lot of Chase. Do a different player.
All right, I did Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Dude, Amon-Ra is Mr. Consistent. That's super valuable, and it lets you go.
It's like actually insane that Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be a remember that guy in like 10 years, and Justin Jefferson is going to be a Hall of Famer in 15 years. But totally, yeah.
Why can't Amon-Ra be dude? I mean, are you like the Lions?
It's not even close.
The Lions play like one game outdoors, so you get Amon-Ra in the dome, a dude who always scores 20 points, and you're like, this guy is a Jag. Like, come on now.
I don't think he's a Jag. He just is in.
That's what you just said. You said he's remember Amon-Ra, that Jag? Remember?
It'll be like, remember Vincent Jackson?
I do remember Vincent Jackson. But
so yeah, we remember Vincent Jackson, but Vincent Jackson is not a Hall of Famer. Justin Jefferson probably goes down as the best non-Jerry Rice wide receiver ever of all time.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm typically a top-down offense, and I don't think Jefferson can be the number 1 wide receiver in football this year. I think he's more of a safety pick, kind of like Amon-Ra, where he's so super talented, and he's going to get so many balls because of that. But I just don't really believe that Sam Darnold can support the #1 wide receiver in fantasy when a guy like CeeDee Lamb could be getting 15 targets a game. Tyreek Hill exists. Jamar Chase has Joe Burrow.
Justin Jefferson does also get to play some dome games. Just
of course
the
he
record.
does. Of course, but he has a much worse offensive situation.
I don't know. I don't really know if I believe that. I think
you don't want to believe that.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is true. Actually, JJ is like kind of weirdly a floor play, but you also get the ceiling.
That's what I said.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah,
but you also get ceiling from the fact that he's Justin.
He'll get ceiling games, yes, but he is like, to me, he's a little like Bijan could be the RB1. That's a ceiling play. Brees could be the RB1. That's a ceiling play.
And you're telling me you don't.
Chase could be the wideout 1. That's a ceiling play. Jefferson.
See this is insane. This is insane. Like, of course that's not true. Of course the Vikings are not the worst team in the NFC.
They're the worst team in their division easily. Like, easily.
Well, the Bears were the worst team in that division last year, and DJ Moore was the wide receiver 7.
Sure. I mean, is that a process we want to chase? That was a very, like, DJ Moore ran insanely hot and had some weird 50-point games.
All right.
No Saquon.
Yeah, no Saquon for sure. We
DJ Moore.
About the Waddle thing. DJ Moore. We can get DJ Moore at the next pick.
Well, let's go Ayuk then for the correlation.
I also don't want to do that.
All right, Olave then.
The last one, Daniel and I, he went in the middle of the 4th round. Ayuk did. Drafters are scared. Not saying they should be. I'm just saying we're playing the ADP game.
That's fair. Like, I want to be playing the ADP game too.
Who is worse than the Minnesota Vikings? I assume this is a bit, but the Panthers are worse. The Commanders are worse. The Giants are worse. The Saints will be either as bad, maybe worse. I think there's some real crater potential for a couple of the NFC West teams. We'll see what happens there. I mean, this is the idea that I don't know. People are just so bad at this. I get a little bit mad when people are stupid, but we're chilling.
I think Garrett Wilson has a much better chance to be the wide receiver 1 in football than Jefferson. Like, it's so easy.
I would book that bet.
I'm not trying to bet a upside wide receiver 1 ceiling, but it's so easy to make the Garrett Wilson CeeDee Lamb corollary, where I draft Mike Williams, Conklin, all these guys, but it's overwhelmingly likely Garrett Wilson is just going to be like 35% target share with Aaron Rodgers, 13 targets a game for like 5 games in a row type shit. And it's Aaron Rodgers and not Sam Darnold. Like, boom.
Sure. I'm not anti Garrett Wilson. I'm not meaning to say that. I got a stat head search to do.
I'm not anti Jefferson either. It's just
you want DJM.
Hell yeah, I want DJM.
Okay, this is so I've got this exact start a bunch of times, but now we've got it with Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I'm fine. Look, I've got 8 more bullets left. So I'm fine to diversify a little bit here at the end.
I got let's see. I got 12 left. When do you think this bad boy's filling? It's at
today.
You think it's filling today?
Yeah.
It's 94% filled. I think it will fill tomorrow. But okay, so I checked it last night and it needed 50,000 and now it needs 42,000. So I think people are panicking. There's always people who save like 150 for August too.
Yeah,
so like,
I'm panicking. I'm like I cannot get caught out. Imagine the year that I go full time. I'm a streamer and I get 149. I mean, it's like just thinking about it.
I would be sick. Davis. Once you max, make sure you check it because they do cancel drafts sometimes.
It happened to me. It happened to me 2 years ago.
Last year it happened to me, and I maxed, and then I just so happened to check it, and I was like, shit, 149, and I got my last team in. I will not get caught out. I would be pissed if I did, but I will draft 10 at the same time. to get this bad boy in if I had to.
Yes. My computer is really giving up on me the last couple days.
My laptop like stopped working for a bit, but then it decided to push through for me. So shout out laptop.
Yeah.
How you doing, brother? Other than that, I asked you about your mental health yesterday, and you said bad, and then you spoke about Pirine, and I'm assuming that a whole weight.
Yeah, my mental health is like that was the last hurdle for me. So like every other guy that I've taken a stance on in fantasy football is like is gonna have a career year. So it's feeling pretty good right now.
Me, Ron, and Jacob were kind of reading out our top 5 exposures last night on a draft we did.
Yeah. Is there anyone you are worried about right now?
I'm not really worried about anyone. I have a lot of Luke McCaffrey, but that's just because I did.
Oh, that's fine. That's free.
I did 100 drafts by August, and so like with the information at the time, I was like, okay, this guy's not a 0 upside swing. But even with the Dotson trade, I'm not taking more. I'd rather take
because you're already packed.
Yeah, I'm already packed, but other people don't have them and are trying to pack it now because of the trade. Who's your grossest exposures? My grossest are Jerome Ford and Zach Moss.
Oh, I have like 0 Jerome Ford because I think he's a bum.
I think everyone's wrong about that, so I'm happy to. I think the whole cabal is on that train.
I guess the grossest guy that I have on my front page is probably May.
That's not gross. Come on.
This is the guys on my front page: Worthy, Brown, Wicks, Rushy, Warren, Debo, Bowers, Jefferson, A-Chain, Dortch, Braylon, Dowdle, Hollywood Brown, Drake May, Roma Dunze.
I would say Hollywood top page. Your grossest, but like most of those names are fun.
Yes. I mean, those guys are all good picks who are going to score lots of fantasy points.
I think Jerome Ford is like, first off, my ADP on Jerome Ford is like average ADP of like 135 to 140. So obviously I was getting him earlier in the year. I think we go Laporta over Kelsey. I'd rather have Rashee Rice than Kelsey straight up.
He went.
All right, well then I'm okay with Kelsey. I think it's bad to take Mahomes ahead of Worthy.
Yes, so this is a great lesson to learn. It's happened to someone in my stream the other day. They took Mahomes first, thinking they were just going to have a nice little time.
No, that's really.
And they did not have a nice little time. They had a bad time because
people will go like Kelsey Worthy, like
like
the Ford thing, cheaper ADP. Again, like the dude played through a high ankle sprain, and so of course he looked inefficient because of that. Really good pass catching back, explosive player. He's pretty much like a Jaylen Warren-esque type guy, just doesn't have the PR campaign behind him. And even if Chubb beats all reasoning and science, he's not going to 0. He'll be sharing the workload with Chubb. Chubb is not going to get like Chubb levels of the past, and they're going to be super pass happy. So I don't know. I'm happy about the Ford exposure. And at worst, whatever, he can be a guy to advance a bunch of teams.
Yeah, damn, we're gonna get snapped on Mahomes here by this 2-hole guy.
That's fine. Yeah. We have Goff, we have Caleb set up. I don't think you need to go Mahomes every time.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, this is your own fault. This is your own fault for taking Mahomes first. Like, it just, like, if you think about it, it makes no sense. It does not actually make sense for you to do that.
Well, why people do that is they think someone won't
take Worthy.
Yeah, or which is
stupid.
Yeah, it's not how you play it. You always take the pass catcher and make someone go naked.
I reached 6 picks. I mean, it's just so illogical. Okay.
Where do you have Kincaid ranked? This is egregious. Let me see.
He's right there.
Okay.
6 spots after ADP. I'll take. Well, no, not Kincaid because we have Kelsey. You want?
Hell yeah, dude! New wave, old wave. I did that last night.
What do you want to do here? By ADP, We could do a weird Lamar team.
That's fine with me. I would be okay with Cook. My vote would be Kincaid. Old wave, new wave.
I'm going to take James Cook. We can get our anchor running back, James Cook. All right. Anchor running back, James Cook. I actually took James Cook, I think, on 3 consecutive teams last night in this tournament.
Yeah, man, he played 100% of snaps with the starters. Is young, explosive, catches passes. Like, he could totally be, arbitrage Achane. Not quite the athlete of Achane, but we could be getting that level of like, and he was like 6th in scrimmage yards last year, but just didn't score enough touchdowns and also dropped 4 touchdowns,
So I just wanted to, it took me forever to log into this, but this is all time, forever in the history of the NFL. First 4 seasons, wide receiver, receptions over 200, just as a floor. And Justin Jefferson is the greatest receiver in yards ever.
And how's that break out with who was his quarterback?
I think Kirk Cousins is a good player. I don't think that Kirk
Cousins is a guy who can throw for 4,500 yards each year. Like,
okay, and Nick Mullins averaged more yards per game
against. Like, if we want to ignore all context, that's easy to say. Against the league worst secondary, the Lions that year, and also against a terrible defense without Joe Burrow in the Bengals that year in the secondary as well. So, like,
I think that's missing a little some of the forest for the trees. I don't disagree with you holistically, but I think that there's going to be a thought process at the end of the season when Justin Jefferson has 1,600 yards that people are going to go, maybe the best wide receiver to date statistically would have been a good pick.
Why did Chase outproduce him in college as a teammate?
I honestly, I actually don't know. I really
maybe
have
because he's better. Maybe because he's better.
Well, I don't even think you believe that. Actually,
I do. I think Jamar Chase, his best year was his rookie year. He got hurt the other 2 years. We haven't seen the Chase explosion year. We could easily see the 1,800 plus yard.
Oh no,
year from Chase, wide receiver 1.
I mean, look, Jamar Chase is a great player. I think the bags are. If I was a big Chase drafter, I would be. You and I always say that we do the vibes based drafting stuff, and I would say the vibes don't feel that great with Chase right now. You could argue bad vibes with Jefferson though, with McCarthy getting injured.
Yeah, I would say that's really bad. Here, I'm gonna read out the wide receiver ones the past couple of years, and let's see who their quarterbacks are to see if there's any Sam Darnolds hanging around there.
Do points per game, because I think there's a Tyreek season where it was points per game, not cumulative.
We'll do both. Whatever. Wide receiver 1 last year, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott. 2022. Let's do this to 17 weeks.
2022 was Jefferson.
Takes me a while to update this site.
2022 was Jefferson.
Jefferson. Who was the quarterback that year?
Kirk
Cousins? Kirk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your internet is owning you. We got to make this pick real quick. Do you want Keenan?
I know I can't. That one website has too many ads. Cooper Kupp was the wide receiver 1 the year before. No. Do
Keenan
Pitts.
goes. You want Pitts and Kelsey?
Pitts. Yes.
Okay. No, he's a huge value here. That's fine.
I mean, I build double tight end often.
I think it's bad to do a big chunk of your portfolio. I think it's fine in this context when both of them are after ADP for sure. Don't want to make it a huge part of my portfolio, but it's definitely fine.
I don't know. It's so easy to profit from it in the playoffs with them ping ponging, and then one of them being low owned in the finals. Really good leverage.
And Pitts sets us up with another quarterback too.
Quarterback. By the way, wide receiver 1, 2021, Cooper Kupp, quarterback Matt Stafford.
And what did people say about Stafford after that season? What were the vibes? Tell me the conversation about Stafford shortly after that.
Matt Stafford is like maybe the best quarterback in the NFC. Like,
I don't get me wrong, I'm a big Matt Stafford guy, but people were saying, oh, he might retire, he's injured. I think
there's no Sam Darnold's laying around supporting the wide receiver 1 in the past. Could it happen? It could happen. I don't think Sam Darnold is going to turn into Geno Smith and Baker. Like, we've seen it, but
yeah, I think that's a fine position to hold. All right. You want to do Keon for the vibes?
Yeah, dude. CeeDee Lamb's cousin, haven't you heard?
Yeah. I mean, I do think taking him over Hollywood is terrible, but
I think taking Hollywood is pretty bad over Keon with him missing weeks. And also Hollywood will make it back to us in the 8th. Keon will never. I got Keon at I got Hollywood at pick like 90 this morning.
Yeah, I wonder maybe we get it
on underdog, not like
I guess the guy after us is
So do we care that Hollywood Brown's ESPN open score was like having him ranked around guys like Devontae Parker and co? Are we just chalking that up to injury?
Well, he's playing injured with Josh Dobbs. He's
playing
just
injured, but like your quarterback.
But he was also he was dogging it.
Well, that's like okay, so that is like one reason to be like, yeah, he wasn't trying. But I mean, I don't know if we can like in the history of it, if you just blanket look at the guys who rank really poorly and then go, they weren't trying it. I actually went back and looked at this. There are some guys who rebounded from being really
Hopkins
bad.
Hopkins would be an interesting one the year that he got traded.
Well, Zay Jones is like the guy who 1 year he was ranked as one of the worst, and we got a Zay Jones season. Like that is the win for guys who rank.
I'd be curious the 2019 DeAndre Hopkins to 2020 DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay.
Yeah.
ESPN analytics.
This is also not true. I don't think that some of the Chase slander goes too far. This is not true, but yeah,
if
I do not think that
plays
Chase
a healthy season with Burrow, I think he's my bet to be wide receiver 1 of the year. So what year do you want to know Hopkins? 21?
2019, the last Texans year to the first Cardinals year.
Well, 2019 Hopkins was wide receiver 10.
Interesting. Because his counting stats are bad that year, relatively speaking, for his career.
2020 Hopkins was wide receiver 8. 21 Hopkins was.
Man, he was so good in 2020. He was so freaking good at football in 2020. DeAndre Hopkins.
2021 he was wide receiver 32, which is like good, you know. Hollywood, by the way, just for anyone who's confused out there, for ESPN analytics ranking the top, I guess I should narrow it to just wide receivers and not do wide receivers and tight ends, which I didn't do for Hopkins either. But Hollywood was wide receiver 96, tied with Michael Gallup, retired, Xavier Gibson, Cedric Tillman, Trey Palmer, Alec. He was below.
Well,
Alec
yeah,
Pierce.
but no, we just solved. Who do we want to take here?
Swift.
No, I'm using a veto on that.
I think you should set up the Bears thing and go Swift and then Caleb.
I'm using. Can I take Aaron Jones?
Sure, but I would do the Swift Caleb thing.
I am done taking Swift and more in on Khalil Herbert personally.
I like him too. The Velus Jones thing is also a little bit spooky.
That is weird. I mean that's weird for all of them.
Like yeah, it's and like
Roshan, this is a good point. The last he wasn't. I do remember this. Allen Robinson not trying on the Bears.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I was trying to say, Zach. Like,
And
if
that's
you
actually a scarily good comp for Hollywood Brown because that was team 2 to team 3.
like, if you just ignore, like, if you just fade the guys who were bad and then ignore the, like, he wasn't trying part, I think that's good process long run. So I don't know. Like, I've always liked Hollywood, but I don't like seeing him literally analytically ranked below guys like Quentin Johnston, you know?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Nico Collins, same amount of 30-point half PPR games last year as St. Brown has for his career.
I took 0% Hollywood in the 5th, and I still don't even want to take him now at the cheap price. I've mixed him in some, but I don't like doing it.
All right.
Caleb.
I think we don't do that. We made a huge bet on St. Brown. We took St. Brown over Jefferson and Chase. I think
made a big bet on Caleb too with DJ Moore.
No, we didn't. We took him at his ADP. We made a huge bet with St. Brown. We took him 2 spots ahead of ADP in the first round.
We have both of the team's wide receiver ones. Let's get Caleb now and then go Love in the next round. Unless you really want, like, I don't know, are you stomping the table for Wicks here?
No.
Is that what?
No, I would have taken a running back, but we could do.
Yeah, I think when you take Aaron Jones, which is like locking in your early season running back points, you inherently should be taking darts on like Jordan Mason and co instead.
Yeah.
I want all the Caleb, man. Like, I want to get him near my highest drafted.
Yeah, Caleb is an insanely good player. Good. Yeah.
Guess what the Chiefs week 1 projected points is, and guess what the Bears week 1 projected points is. Guess. Don't look it up.
Ravens. Who did can you tell me the Bears play?
Titans.
Chiefs 24.5, Bears 26.5.
They're both tied at 24.5.
Damn, I'm too good at this, bro. I only thought you asked because it was funny. That's interesting. I made a bet on that game this morning. I did a pick'em entry with Pollard, anytime touchdown.
And also the Chiefs, by the way, what number in the NFL do you think they're projected for points scored? Because the way people talk about it, you would assume 1.
I assume 3. I assume one of the dome teams that you wouldn't think of is above.
They're like
them.
6.
In the 49ers, definitely above.
They're behind the Bills.
That'll just be wrong, though.
Behind the Bills, behind the Lions, behind the 49ers. I think they're behind the Cowboys. So,
yeah, I mean, so that's an example that, I would bet that right now at even money with anyone that the Chiefs score more points than the Cowboys.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
you would too.
Look at headlines, it's thin stuff, and points scored.
There's how much liquidity is in a Week 10?
No, I agree with you.
Team total,
but it is a data point where, and also points scored. Does Mahomes can throw for 400 yards and only score 24 points, and you'd be happy, obviously, in fantasy. But it's a little noteworthy where everyone is just going Chiefs go Burr. I personally, amongst the Chiefs, I want Rice, I want Worthy, I want Pacheco, I want the cheaper P. Ryan steals. I don't want Kelsey, I don't want Hollywood, and I don't want Mahomes when he goes right next to Hurts and Allen, who are comfortable tier above. I'd rather have Lamar than Mahomes. I think Lamar is a much better Week 17 matchup. So, and also
yeah, he does. That is unironical, not unironically, not that the Kansas City defense should be worse this year. Although it's possible I'm wrong about that, but they markedly spent less money on defense, and they
always have a good D with Spags. He's a really good D.
Spags is just good at Spags just
and they have Chris Jones. That dude's a monster.
Yeah.
I also think that people who watch streams are all they're all kind of like you, Davis, where they all have huge Chiefs bags. So by simply not taking Chiefs, you're just betting against.
You're just betting against every streaming idiot.
Well, you're
good bet to make, honestly.
You're at a different part of the game tree where the Chiefs don't win you all the money. Not never, but that's kind of where I'm at. Worthy versus Christian Kirk. It's very close for me.
Yeah, I get that you guys are not like me. You're the biggest playoff rounder. You're the biggest loser on earth. If you're the opposite of me, you've never won shit in your life, brother. Okay. Let's do Goff here, assuming we don't get sniped. And there's two really good picks, so we have a chance of.
I think you cannot pass on Zach Moss here.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I just like that. It's just kind of an egregious price on him. Like literally one of the cheapest prices he's been all year.
I mean, you're not gonna get an argument from me. I think that's a very good pick.
And he plays the Broncos week 17, where
he was. I actually weirdly think that he would have gotten killed more. I mean, this is going to sound like I'm bag defending. I promise this is not bag defending. But Pirine and Moss have more of a duplicative skill of overlap than Pirine and Brown do. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying, because like where Moss is probably like at a minimum, Moss will probably be the 2-minute back unless Chase Brown is a good pass protector, and Moss is probably going to get the goal line work unless Chase Brown is just like really, really, really good, which is still in the range of outcomes. But I'm still like 51% Brown, 49% Moss. Like I'm not like
this stuff is unserious, bro.
No, ignore that.
It's just I do
talk to me. Talk to me. Don't look at that.
Now we have a real decision. We have a real decision on our hands here. I mean, I do think like mathematically Goff is the right pick.
Wicks went, so that was your decision.
Right? No, I think we are thin enough-ish at wide receiver that we should consider taking Polk or Gabe Davis, but
I think we do Goff.
I think
because I mean the thing about Amon-Ra and Olave is these two guys.
Can you do like 65 seconds on this pick while I go pee?
Yeah. My point on taking, when you bet on Amon-Ra and Olave, you are taking two guys who are going to be by far and away the number one target earners on their team. And you're just assuming they're going to fill 2 of your 3 wide receiver spots almost every week. So it lets you go a little bit thinner at your wide receiver depth. And so we could take off. You're done at quarterback. You're done at tight end. We got 3 running backs we feel good about. You tack on 2 more, maybe 3, and then you just hit wide receiver late. Drew saying, personally, I'm a Moss guy. Yeah, I mean, I've not made a decision there. I have more Moss than Brown, but that's because he's cheaper now.
I think being a Moss guy is totally legitimate, and it's definitely totally legitimate when he's going after Devin Singletary. You're taking a New York Giants running back after a Bengals running back?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I still have Moss ranked like right behind Pollard, only because like, and I've never seen him fall this far. I see like usually he's snapped at the 9-10 turn now. I've never seen him go to the 10-11.
Detroit is not they're not outside in Chicago. They're outside in San Francisco in week 17.
Yeah. Which even
Levi Stadium is kind of fake outdoors, right? Like the weather's always perfect and the stadium's built really high. It's kind of fake outdoors.
And slot wideouts have killed the Niners like for years running. Like Cole Beasley had his like best game of a career against the Niners.
It's a crazy pull, Liam. I don't doubt you at all, but that's just a crazy pull.
I know, dude. I watch too much football. I spend too much time on it.
It can obviously, of course, it can rain in San Francisco, but I honestly,
Mark Twain said the coldest summer I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco.
No, coldest winter I ever had was a summer in San Francisco.
Oh yeah, coldest winter, yeah.
It is. I do think about that though. Like, how many times have you turned on the Fox late afternoon game for San Francisco and not seen the sun shining? Like, I can't really think of a time.
Yeah, almost never. Like, yeah. I know I've been to San Fran. I know what it's like, but
it is crazy when you're there. Yeah. Like I went there for a FSTA or whatever in the summer once, and it was like cold. Like it was like I wore a hoodie. I mean, if Moss was on another team, he'd probably.
I don't think this question has value. Like, how much lower does pick a player? Like, could we not do that for anyone?
What if Samaj Pirine and Zach Moss get traded for each other?
Zach Moss is not getting traded, dude. He does it. He has a very valuable skill set. Moss is legitimately one of the best pass protecting running backs in the NFL.
Yeah, he's very good.
And Joe Burrow has gotten hurt. So keeping Joe Burrow safe is the #1 priority, which Moss will throw his like bowling ball body at a defender to ensure.
All right. This is a shitty spot for us. I think we got.
I'm okay with Downs.
Receiver, though. Downs, Leggett.
I'm Downs in that tier.
Well, we're probably fine for the first couple weeks of the season. Like I agree with your point that the week-to-week floors of St. Brown and Olave are so strong. Like very rarely are they going to have less than 11
half points. Yeah.
I have a real mic, but it's not as good. This mic is the mic I use.
Sound really good. Like
the mic I use is higher quality and more.
You have to realize that like half the comments you read are bad advice. So like this person's trying to help you, but
something I do need to do if I'm like really gonna try and be for real about streaming is I gotta get a background set up like Peter. You know, like
dude, I'm very unserious. I don't have good thumbnails. I haven't done any long form content.
You're already rich, dude. You're already rich. I'm sitting here. Setting like I'm out here.
Dude, you've done more big dogs than me. Like maybe
Fareed paid for those, brother. Fareed said, "You want me to stake you in those?" And I said, "Absolutely. That is great content."
How many did you do?
6.
Are you guys just 50-50 in it?
50-50 profit share. So like, yeah.
Shout out Fareed, good guy.
Great dude. Yeah, big fan. We could take Leggett. That gives us a little bit more ceiling. I mean, Keon Coleman and Leggett are just the Spider-Man.
Yeah, I like Leggett. I like betting on first-round picks pretty blindly. He goes. I don't think any wide receiver is worth taking here other than Tolbert or McMillan. I think you just like Jordan Mason would be my vote, getting the Lions corollary. And also the fact he's just like sub 5% drafted.
How many teams do you think will have Samaj Pirine in the end?
He will be sub 4 to 5% drafted. I don't know. Like, there's gonna be a lot of virgins trying to get him. Like, he's a really strong pick. I've ranked him initially, but I think I'm gonna raise him more.
There's no bigger virgin than me right now, man.
Hey, no, I mean me too. Like it's very good to just draft these Masons, these Pirines, and just know you're
Cam Akers. Cam Akers is a really good
one. He doesn't do it for me, man. I don't know. Like
Pete and the legendary upside cabal are really Daniel Racz was just on before you.
And I love that. I love that for their user base. That is like he looked good, but that's just not like where I want to be waiting. You
didn't see those spin moves, brother?
The spin moves? I did see the spin moves.
I got to be honest, man. The spin moves were pretty gosh darn persuasive for me. I was like, the first one was good. The second one, I was starting to buy. The third one, I was like, shut up and take my money on the spin moves.
I'll mix them in, but like overwhelmingly, it feels like 6 weeks in the season, you're like, what were we doing? Drafting Cam Akers again, you know, like.
Well, brother,
I'd rather have Carson Steele straight up over Cam Akers.
I made that bet with Peter. Peter was talking shit about Carson Steele on his stream on Monday, and I popped in his chat and I said, I'll book you right now, Carson Steele versus Cam Akers. Well, I can't remember whose idea it was.
But you made the bet before the Pirine signing. Yeah.
Yes. I would not make it now. I would not.
I would still like with the Pirine signing. I'd still rather have Steele.
I think Steele. If you want to make that bet, I got a guy for you.
Steele has outs to being a league winner. I don't really try
This is actually not true. It's the reverse. Cam Akers drafters know too much ball, I feel.
Cam Akers drafters, here's the process. Ooh, look at those cool spin moves against 4 stringers. Let's get them.
God,
Is that knowing ball?
No,
Sure.
no,
Okay.
no. You, Liam, you fundamentally misunderstand. You're wrong.
It's the
They
science.
actually
The science has
no.
changed on Achilles.
It's not that either. It's Dameon Pierce is a bad fit for the zone blocking running scheme. He doesn't get it. Akers gets it.
What about Brookie Brooks or whoever they picked up?
Britton Brooks, he's special teams only.
What happened to Gerard Jordan, man?
He was never good. This is
Yoshi Voss. Your wide receiver rankings are terrible. Yoshi, like, dude, you need to
the people are sick of me saying this. I literally been so busy. I haven't eaten today.
Davis.
I've literally not had time to upload my rankings to Underdog.
Davis, you have I gave you a free subscription to my site. You can use my rankings.
No, I have my own rankings. I have not uploaded them.
Oh. Well, Jahan Dotson needs to be buried. I almost deleted him.
Jahan Dotson is not in my rankings. Like that, he literally, if you use my rankings, I just don't have them. Yoshi Voss
already got cut. There's no time for him. He's not on a team right
now. Yoshi Voss is going to be over Burton for all 17 weeks. I believe that Burton is the T. Higgins handcuff. That's where I've landed. I think I was very heavy on Burton early. I will show you guys the voting with the dollars pick there. I have $2,229 worth of Jermaine Burton teams. That doesn't feel very good. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be real with you right now. It feels pretty bad. So I am very good with slamming the button on Yoshi Voss to try and.
I don't agree with your synopsis. I still think Burton could possibly take the role by
Coaches
week 10.
Hate him, dude.
12.
They just hate him.
No, that's being overblown. I think we get our last running back here because there's no one like worth drafting. So Braylon Allen, Kamani, Marshawn Lloyd. Choose your favorite.
This looks like a classic because we have the two quarterbacks and the two tight ends. It's a classic 6 running back team for me, Liam.
I think 5, but yeah, 6 is fine too. I think you take one of these running backs though. Like, you don't need to reach on a guy who's going to be there in the next round. Kamani, Braylon, or Marshawn Lloyd.
Braylon gives us
P. Ryan.
Braylon gives us Keon and Cook.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, just add on to these bags more. I'm just keep drafting the same team.
You don't have Moss at the back end of the 10th with a Caleb.
Yeah, okay. Burton is my grossest bag. I've got him out of my first page, but it's definitely it's probably the only pick I haven't. Well, him and Hollywood, I have negative CLV on.
I have a lot of early Burton. Let's see, I'm at 13% Burton in BBM5.
Yeah.
And only 7% Yoshi Voss. I would snap trade those exposures if I could.
See, again, fundamental misunderstanding of how coaches work. Coaches did not take Jermaine Burton. The front office took Jermaine Burton.
They work together.
Sure. Jermaine Burton gets to camp and is an asshole to everyone. No one likes him. He's playing in the 4th. That was so funny after the first preseason game. He caught the touchdown and everyone's like, big riser. And it's like, this dude came in the game after Kwame Lassiter. All right. Dude,
the ignoring preseason synopsis may be like an edge where like
I wholly disagree. This has been my big
Jahan Dotson was a riser. Tim Patrick was a riser. Like there's a lot of I'm never gonna ignore it, but it's just funny
it's not ignoring it, but the skill is in interpreting it. You can't take it at face value. You have to interpret it. It's an art. Yeah. I got
McMillan or Burton?
McMillan 90 spots ahead. Yeah, it's not even close.
McMillan, I know, is the wide receiver 3. I think Burton can eventually become the wide receiver 3.
What are the odds Rashi gets in trouble again? I don't know. I can't do this.
Dude, I mean, yeah, I guess there's a chance he goes and
I think Liam, I don't think you mispronounce his name. I think you just have an accent. I don't know what your accent. I don't know where you're from, but I think you just have like a little bit of an accent that it.
Burton.
Yeah.
What's my accent, chat?
I don't know. I don't know where you are.
New Hampshire,
I was going to say I don't know where you were born.
I spent like a year. I've lived in the Florida for a while, and I spent a year with these guys from like New Orleans and Georgia. So like sometimes
I
have a
can
southern
a
twang.
little bit of a draw. Okay,
Little southern
Yoshivas
drawl.
Yoshivas play. I think Yoshivas literally played like 111 snaps last year.
No, and Trenton Irwin could definitely be a bit of a thorn in everyone's sides where like
He
could
has
be,
not played with the ones at all in camp. I obviously I've been locked in on the Bengals because of the Chase Brown stuff. He has not been a part of the plans in any way, shape, or form.
he's not a guy you develop, but he is a steady Eddie if you need it. We're on the clock here, Davis.
Yeah.
I think we
okay,
go
frickin'
Whittington
the guy.
now.
Yeah. The guy I wanted got taken.
Malik Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a strong pick.
He is.
I still think Odell is not purely a 0, but as
Odell is a 0.
Odell
is a 0, man.
Odell was like wide receiver 24 in ESPN Analytics last year.
He'll always be good when he can get on the field, but he's one of these guys whose body has betrayed him.
Maybe, McDaniel.
Michael, I bet Michael Thomas could get open until the day he couldn't.
McDaniel signing him is, I think, a feather in the cap. Like he's not someone who just signs the guy just to sign him, in my opinion.
I think I'll disagree. Well, I don't know.
McDaniel is like the #1 offensive coordinator I'd want to bet on. Of like,
no, I agree with, but I think
although he did sign Chase Claypool, so
he signed Chase Claypool. He signed Will Fuller. Never played. Wait, no, that's wrong. That was before. I'm wrong. Take that back. That was
Will
wrong.
Fuller we haven't seen.
Yeah. Say Barry. Chat's telling you. Oh, that sounds fine. But you definitely do have kind of an accent. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I'm kind of
stroking out.
I am kind of woke to Jonnu Smith. All right, with this selection, all these wide receivers are dead ass the same.
If you want a 6th running back, let's do that. If not, let's go 2 more wide. Yeah, Pirine for sure.
Pirine for sure. He did sign. Yeah, Chosen Anderson was on the team last year.
Cut from the 49ers.
How are the puppies? The puppies actually are being insanely good today. They were very good, and my sister-in-law just came and let them out for me, which is beautiful, which means I can stream for another hour. Tim Patrick was a riser. That is funny. Best ball moderate. Just while you're here, I wanted to dunk on you specifically. You kept telling me. You kept telling me.
Thanks for being here.
You kept telling me Imani Bailey was going to make the team because he got like $1 gazillion as an undrafted free agent, and I want you to apologize to me. That's all. Liam, I'll let you handle this. Do you think Velus Jones is draftable?
I actually do think him and Tyler Scott are draftable, as in the sense that they are most likely 0s, but
in the sense that they are people who exist.
Well, in the sense that they're most likely 0s, but Keenan Allen didn't practice yesterday because of a foot injury. I think Tyler Scott is the wide receiver 4 for the Bears. I have him ranked as draftable, similar to, he's a similar guy to like Parker Washington. He's a contingent upside guy. So yeah, I was going to push for Tyler Scott on this team actually in the 18th. Yeah. And I think Velus Jones is a different bet where you're hoping he's CPAT-ish, but I don't know if Velus Jones would have made the team if Ian Wheeler didn't get hurt. I couldn't really discern that from Hard Knocks. So, like, if that's true, not good. But he is electric with the ball in his hand. So, and he's a running back playing wide.
That's the thing. He would actually be more. I'd be more into clicking him as a running back. Yeah.
No, 100%. I'd be drafting him a lot.
I assume special teams touchdowns also count on Underdog, like kick return touchdowns or whatever.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite team is the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm a fake Chiefs fan. I grew up a Cowboys fan. I abandoned them when the Chiefs drafted Mahomes, and I've never looked back, man. Never have looked back.
Davis is a bandwagon fan.
And what a bandwagon to be on. I mean, you want to talk about knowing how to pick winners, Liam? Watching Mahomes play one time and being like, you know what would be sick? Never ever rooting for the Cowboys again. Big W.
No, I think the winner was drafted in the past. Like, yes, I don't think
the winner has been drafted.
I mean, like,
unless it's this team.
Yeah, I mean, functionally though, that like No, what you're asking is, do I think 90% of entrants is better than 8% of entrants? Like, I think I'd take the 90% of entrants. It does it happen sometimes? Sure. Fareed drafted the winner in
Late.
September last year.
Very late, yeah.
I drafted the winner in June, Karain in July.
I think this year specifically, the Rashi Rice stuff makes
or
it
early August was a really good time.
Yeah.
That was like when Worthy was falling, Rome was falling.
Yeah. My dad was a Cowboys fan. He grew up in southern Oklahoma. The Cowboys were the only team on TV. So that was who you could, I think back then in like the 70s, you could choose the Steelers or the Cowboys. I think those were your options. I don't know. You maxed BBM the year you won
Single
it, right?
Single entrant, actually.
So that is true. Every winner has maxed it, but there were a couple guys who finished. I want to say there was a winner who finished, or
my friend Tolan got like 5th in drafters on 2 entrants.
Yeah. All right, Liam.
Tyler Scott, dude. Tyler Scott.
Please no. Please not. Tyler
Trey
Scott.
Tucker, if not, but or Cleve Raymond. But my vote would be Tyler Scott. Dude, aren't you gonna feel good when you have one of 3 shares of Tyler Scott and Keenan Allen rolls his ankle?
No, I'm really not. I ended up in St. Louis because this is where my wife and her family are.
My cousin just moved to St. Louis, by the way. Like he's my second cousin, but we're closer to brothers.
Do you know what part of town? Liam, I'm gonna do another one. You are more than welcome to hang around. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. But I need to get grinding on these entries.
I need to see you name this one, Liam, so that I get my 750.
No,
that's legally binding.
That's true. That is legally binding. Thank you for reminding me.
And by no way are you allowed to go in and edit it.
Thank you for reminding me.
Wouldn't it be so funny if you won and just closed up shop and were like, nah, I'm not. I've done co-streams with people and I'm like, what if they won with me and then they were just like, see ya. No, the YouTube equity is worth way more.
Yeah, this is really brutal. I mean, this is very inside baseball, but a very big guy in the skateboarding scene here in St. Louis did pass away yesterday, which is very sad. There was another thing. Yeah, second place in BBM 3 behind Karain was a single bullet.
Rough.
So
maybe they would have won without
maybe they would have won if they diversified a little bit better.
Well, I was going to say without the Bengals-Bills game canceled, but sure, we could say that too. What's crazy is if someone did that on a single entrant, it is very possible they have no idea because they uninstalled the app or their phone broke
completely,
or whatever, and they forgot about it, and so that money's just sitting in their account forever.
We drew the 8-hole. We might be able to get St. Brown again.
I'm gonna have to dip in a bit here. I've been kind of late with my breakfasts. I got to cook some eggs. And I'm writing an article. It's not anything groundbreaking, but I'm just posting all the depth charts and just writing about these guys are never drafted. These guys are never drafted. This is the year Jaylen Warren was a rookie. This is what got me on Jaylen Warren because all year I was like, who's Najee Harris RB2? That year it was oh man, there's some real creative names. Some running backs no one wanted, and then I was like, oh, Jaylen Warren is on the team. Sure, he's the RB2. So no one really sticking out like that, but kind of gonna go work on that. I'll stick around for this first round pick though, so I get 1/18 of this.
So you can get 1/18. I'm not gonna put your name on it though, so you're gonna have to go back and find it.
You're not gonna. I named mine 1/18 Davis.
I'm just teasing you, buddy. I will give you 1/18 of this. All right, St. Brown goes. So you're giving up. I want you to know to work on your article. You're giving up a Bijan team.
Bijan. Well, maybe I'll stick around for a little bit more. Let's see. I named. Let me find the Davis one.
I want to say I think it was a marathon that you gave me, or it was a.
No, this one is named Davis gets 14% stream. It's a Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, Geno team. Achane, Tony Pollard, Gus Edwards, Ray Davis, Braylon Allen, Deneric Prince, RIP, Jamar Chase, DK Metcalf, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Lad McConkey. Xavier Worthy picked 70, by the way, for us. Lad McConkey, Hopkins, Josh Downs, and then Laporta Dulcich. So only one Pier 0, Deneric Prince, who did he get re-signed to their practice squad?
I haven't even looked, but I assume so.
Yeah.
Buddy, no one else wants him.
Well, the thing about running backs is they're never truly dead because injuries happen.
Well, the expansion of the practice squads has been huge for these guys. Practice squads used to be 18, or it used to be 8, and now it's 14.
Yeah, it's what this Brandon guy said. Benny Snell and Anthony McFarland, they were the running backs behind Najee until Jalen Warren.
Oh man,
Wally pipped them. Did Foreman get re-signed? Yes, he did.
Yeah. My computer is giving up as draft season ends. I'm literally gonna have to make this pick on my phone right now.
Oh, I've had to do that.
Oh, Nico, beautiful. That is a beautiful start. Wow, 2.7% equity per pick. You are up to 5.4%, dude. That's
I just got 2.8. Let's see. I just got 2/18 of this. Let's do the math there.
See, interesting. This is interesting. We have a no badger on UD who's a full badger on DK. So there are new states. Daniel, this is a great question. Was I paying attention to which FFPC draft yesterday? Because I was doing.
So Davis, I get 11% of this. That's $167,000 if it wins.
All right, I'm taking the 5% that I have to pay to a subscriber out of your percentage, though.
Dude, what? You're gonna do me like that? You're gonna.
I would never do you like that. Yeah, Daniel.
David, video is not very watched on your channel. It's like your only video that doesn't have any views.
Because the algorithm is never gonna push that. It's just there to remind people. You don't even have to click. Like someone who follows me on Twitter, I've got 65,000 followers on Twitter. They can know that the giveaway exists. They click on my YouTube channel and they go, "Oh, the title of that video, I remember now." A good comment.
I have so few followers on Twitter compared to like most fantasy Twitter accounts. I got up my game there. Were you a reply guy early on, like replying in like Schefter's and whatnot, trying to grow? Or is
Liam, I've been doing this since I was in college. I've been doing this for 15 years.
Yeah, I didn't have a Twitter until I was 28.
Like when fantasy football first started being a thing you could do online, I was already like a fantasy football account that people
I made my Twitter in 2020, the first year I played best ball, so that I could look up NFL news online. Because I was like, beforehand, I would go to like ESPN and like NFL.com and like read like that. And I was like, okay, I need better news here. I didn't want a Twitter because, like social media, blah, 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 but whatever. I've been infected.
Yeah. And now look at you. You've got, what do you have, like 5,500 YouTube subscribers?
Yeah. I think if you and me do a co-stream show, dude, we're gonna smash it during this season. We need to get that weekly show. We'll talk.
I mean, I'm trying to tweet, or I'm trying to stream every day except Saturday
during the year.
Yeah.
Well, let's find a day for you and I to just talk through the DFS slate, and it can also be like a best ball show where we like talk about our bags, whatever. It's kind of nice because we have. Like you got a lot of Chiefs, I got a lot of Bills, so we can rib each other there.
No,
and I think we have a mutually exclusive audience.
I want to be clear. I'm not doing this. I'm not. No. I will not click you. I will click Justin Watson or Noah Gray. Or
I would click Dalvin Cook over Juju.
I would click Juju over Dalvin.
I'm Dalvin strongly.
All right, do I do Rashee or do I do a Texans guy? What quarterbacks?
I think Rashee is a terrible pick for game theory purposes.
He's not, but
he's a great pick for scoring fantasy points. But do you?
I'm taking Diggs because I have Nico already, and I'm trying to set up. I'm going to try and push Stroud to 89 and see what happens.
I think it's hard to get to the finals versus a fellow Rashee team in the 10th. And I think it's hard it's only 500 people, but I think it's hard to win the finals if Rashee is the guy who winning you the contest this year when you take him in the third, like you're just making it hard on yourself. He's a good bet to be a league winner and the number one player on the Chiefs, but strategy wise, I'd rather just choose a different player who also could be good.
Buddy, that's good enough for me, man. All the pod luck really, really mitigates how much I care about teams having Rashi in the 90s. Like, obviously, I do agree with you. It's a disadvantage. If I started a brand new contest tomorrow, if they're a puppy drops tomorrow, I'm moving him to like high, very
even
high.
in the FFPC,
I'd have to think more about it. Yes,
even in high stakes, it's fine because like so low volume, pods are so small.
Yeah,
but in BBM5, I just think it's inherently bad. Like, Davis, I hate to say this, but you were drafting Darrell Henderson in the 4th and 5th the year that Cam Akers went down,
and I would have been right too, but I wasn't,
and that was bad. I was like, I didn't do content,
but it was almost good.
No, it was strategically bad because he went in the 13th round for most of the season.
Sure, whatever.
Like, can you win with a guy at a more expensive price? Sure, you can, but you're making it harder.
Also, yeah, it's just like it's kind of like a control what I can control thing, and I can control that Rashee Rice is a very good pick. But Liam, I get your point, and I think, but this is ultimately what I believe, and Liam, I really like. Well, one second, let me make this pick. I really like the way you play, and I appreciate your insights about the game theory. But I do think that kind of in the end of the day, this sort of ends up being true, which is that if Rice is the dude who just is going fucking nuke in the playoff weeks, then you are going to have wanted him almost regardless of cost.
Yeah, you're gonna want him as far as like advancing, but you're not going to win with him in the 4th round. Like, you're just not.
Well, what if
pull up one of your Rice teams with him in the 80s right now?
How do you do it? How do I do that? Like,
go click at some of your teams, or I could read one off because I didn't. I was gonna
say I thought maybe you knew like an easy way to do that or something.
No, on Drafters, it lets you type a player's name, and it will show you those teams. Unfortunately, we don't have that on Underdog.
Yeah, I don't label any of my teams as a real issue.
I'm like, here's a team I have right here. You listening?
The first team I pulled up has a round 18 Kadarius Toney.
Here's a team I have right here. The wide receivers are CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, Deebo Samuel, Xavier Worthy, Rome Odunze, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and then Rashee Rice at pick 99. So where Rice went at the 4th, I instead have ETN and Kincaid. The running back room is ETN, Chase Brown, Jerome Ford, Marshawn Lloyd, Ray Davis, Kamani Vidal. Quarterback room of Justin Herbert, Daniel Jones, Justin Fields.
So Liam, we're saying the same thing. Your side of the 2v2 or the 3v3 or whatever is going to be favored, but that doesn't mean that it's a lock to win.
No, but
like
if you think about, like, we're playing a probability game and what's good probability in the long run. So
sure, absolutely.
In the long run, when a player goes like, and it's not like it was only 5% draft volume with Rashee Rice at pick 80, it was closer to 30% or 40% of the contest filled. I spot checked my drafts starting in middle of May to late July. Rice was going in the 70s to 100s. So
I haven't uploaded my CSV to Best Ball Explorer. Probably a leak, almost assuredly a leak.
Yeah, whatever. But so for a large portion of the season, Rice was going at that price. So in the long run,
this is obviously not true, but this is just a very funny YouTube comment.
No, Rice isn't getting suspended, but
he's not getting suspended.
In the long run, if you inherently tell yourself, I'm not going to draft players who go from a round 8 to a round 4 price because I think it's harder to win, I think that is the strategically right way to play it. Is it possible you could thread the needle with Rice in particular this year and a Kyron Williams emerges, or Tank Dell emerges or Puka Nacua emerges, sure. But I think that's a bad bet strategically.
What if
year to year?
Malik Washington and Samaj Pirine are what you need, brother?
Well, Malik Washington is not a guy who's only been drafted now. He was a rookie pick the whole season. But yes, could you but you need hate to break the news to everyone, but no, Kyron and Tank and Puka probably doesn't exist in the late rounds. Maybe you'll get a Jerome Ford.
It almost assuredly doesn't exist. If you made me bet,
and that makes Rice a bad bet in the 4th round.
Yeah.
If you need Rice to win, you have lost.
Well, disagree with that. I disagree with part of your logic. I disagree with your conclusion.
And okay. Do some of the Rice teams have zeros on them? Sure. But there
is
a
lot of the Rice teams have zeros.
Yeah, but there's 30,000 Rice teams at that ADP. Do the math of how many teams there are. There's tens of thousands of these teams.
Sure.
And it's going to be hard.
There are tens of thousands, but actually, you know what I'm just thinking as we're sitting here, it's sort of interesting that a 4th round Rashi, you might actually prefer him to be really shitty in weeks 15 or 16.
Yes, you would.
Yeah, you would. So there you go. That's a classic Liam. Oh, are you kidding me?
Clay saying disagree. You're playing a 1v1 of a 3rd round pick versus an 8th round pick. Exactly. And over the course of every year of fantasy football, it's a bad bet to take an 8th round pick versus a 3rd or 4th round pick.
Also, yeah, dude.
You're making a bad bet, but could it work? Sure.
Yeah, I know. First off, I'm not as bad at tech lording as people think. You guys would not have been able to do what I did on that stream on Tuesday, where the draft I was in literally wouldn't work, and I switched browsers without canceling the stream. That was actually very impressive. You guys would not be able to do that. I know how to do a freaking CSV. I just literally, buddy, I can't breathe, man. I don't have 5 minutes to eat lunch, brother.
What if you need Rice to advance your pod? Then you're going to get out advanced by the guy who has him in the 8th round.
This actually is crazy to believe that people would be in these contests without taking advantage of the one reason to play these contests.
Sometimes I think about this guy who rage quit my stream because I took Taysom Hill over Pat Freiermuth. He's like, this guy took Pat Freiermuth, or he didn't take the Steelers Pat Freiermuth over Taysom Hill. What's he doing?
Addison is 1,000% getting suspended this year. We just don't know when.
He's going to get a 3-game suspension middle of the season.
Yeah. Okay. I literally don't care that he's 34 years old. I don't care.
Taysom Hill is the RB2 plus the tight end 2 plus the QB 3.
Liam, guess my Taysom exposure percentage on DraftKings.com best balls. I've only done the Millie Maker. I've got
60%.
Okay, I thought you were going to go low. I only got 48%.
Davis, I know you pretty well. I was really thinking 55 to 60.
Yeah. Here's the thing, buddy. Yeah, I had time to watch TV and hang out before I got fired from my job. Now I spend all day fucking making thumbnails and shit. Literally, what I did before I started the stream this morning was download audio, post audio, and make thumbnails. And that should be quick, but it just isn't. Shit just takes a little bit of time. It takes an hour to do all that stuff. Do you still post the Chaos Surfing podcast, or are you over it?
Davis, there's a lot of things I've not done.
Well, it's hard to be motivated when you've already you're not chasing Kareem, brother. You've already chased him.
I'm trying to win again. You kidding me? I should have launched my site last year before the year after I won BBM2.
Well, yes, but what I'm saying is
I won 2 more contests, but
you've already gotten to the top of the mountain.
We're trying to get back, dude,
winning.
No, I should be doing a podcast too. We're gonna be more professional next year. I'm gonna hire some help too for the rankings, because right now, I have rankings for multiple sites, and it just takes so long to uniform it.
Corain, you should talk to Corain's guy. Corain's got the way that they layer it in together.
Keon.
All right, Liam, if we take Keon, you have to stay for the rest of the draft.
I was gonna say Keon, and then I'm out of here. All right, fine. Keon, let me take a piss, and I'll hang.
Okay. There we go. That's how you lock in. That's how you lock in it. Well, I promise you, I will still stream if I win. I guarantee you, I will still stream, but I am not going to be grinding as hard. I'm not going to be grinding as hard. I'll hire a guy to do thumbnails. I will hire a guy to post the podcast. I will hire a guy to. I'll just have a lot of help. Like right now, it's all me. Every thumbnail, every podcast, every YouTube video, all my ranking, it's just all me from start to finish, which is not a complaint. It is just the reality of the situation. So, oh yeah, fair. I mean, I'm using Steph. I'm using guys in the subjective sense. That's all. Do I have a take on Keon? I mean, I did not think that Keon was a very good prospect, but I do think that he is in an insanely nutty situation to end up scoring like 11 targets or scoring like 11 touchdowns. Like if Keon Coleman scored the most touchdowns of these rookie wide receivers, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I mean, Olabisi Johnson was listed ahead of Justin Jefferson. That it's just how it works.
What's your knowledge of Greg Rosenhaus and like how credible of a source he is?
All right, I literally shouldn't even say this because this is like actually inside information that you will not hear on other fantasy football podcasts, but we're 2 hours and 11 minutes into the stream. So the reason why, let's make this pick and then I will get into this because I don't want to get interrupted by making the pick. We have a 1-5-1. Stroud went, Kyler went. Love is
I don't
there.
know what you're doing taking Keenan Allen. Take Love.
Probably going to take a running back and then try and push.
You should have taken Stroud over Keenan.
Is there a G? I'm trying to see if there's a GB guy. The GB guy.
Okay. Liam skipped breakfast for Bichon.
Should I take? No, Love is bad because I've got multiple quarterbacks open.
Love is the key to winning this year.
All right. Okay. So this is the deal. People who work at NFL Network or who have worked at NFL Network are super plugged into the Rams specifically. I'm not going to get into it, but basically there is a family relationship between the Rams front office and the NFL Network. So if you are a reporter that worked the NFL Network, you're going to have very good knowledge of what is going on in the Rams organization. Greg Rosenthal said in that video, he's not drafting Puka Nacua in fantasy football. He's off Puka Nacua in fantasy football. That is enough for me to move him down to my rankings and to move Kupp up in my rankings and to be more into Whittington.
Well, he also, Jordan Rodriguez is co-host on a podcast. So I don't know about what you're talking about with this like inter-family relationship.
I'll tell you the actual relationship sometime later, but
sure.
Greg.
But like I see Stephania Bell tweeting about like draft Blake Corum if you draft Kyron. Like is it this?
No,
or is
Greg
it
Rosenthal. Greg Rosenthal was one of the founding original writers at Roto World. He knows about fantasy football. He plays fantasy football. He knows what he's saying, and he's saying he's not taking Puka, and
but I think he's not speaking to the game we are playing. Right, the game we are playing is win money week 17.
Sure,
he's maybe speaking to a slow ramp up of weeks 1 through 4.
He's speaking to an established the run subscriber, which is a different. I mean,
he's speaking to a managed league person, which is like a home league person, which is a little bit different. So I don't know if he has serious info.
This is it. Wow, Jeremy, do you know ball or what, brother?
Okay. This is Davis's bombshell coming out in the chat.
I mean, I honestly,
why is this a secret you tried to keep?
It's not.
Are you worried about less me coming after you?
No. Wow. All right, Liam. I will let you say which of these dust ass running backs you want to take.
I mean, we gotta do the Chase Brown experience with Davis. All right, even though he's one of my highest drafted running backs too. So yeah, I don't know. My read on the Puka is I can't read into information I don't really know. I don't really know how credible this thing is. I didn't know Greg started Roto World or whatever. So this I'm not familiar with Greg at all.
He was like Rotopat before Rotopat.
Yeah, it sounds like he's like a Levitan-esque guy.
Yes. Yeah, I think he hired Levitan, actually.
Okay,
if I remember correctly.
My take on it, though, is he's probably speaking to a managed league person who would really be upset if Puka is slow to ramp up weeks 1, 2, and 3. But as far as like who would I rather have week 17 against the Cardinals, I'd rather have Puka Nacua than Cooper Kupp. And in total points, maybe it's a small ding to Puka.
Yeah.
And maybe it's catastrophic. I don't know. I just don't think that's the case, though.
Hold on. I gotta snipe at Gretsch real quick. He took Dalvin Cook in a fantasy draft last night. I took Nick Mullins in the Superflex league that we all did, and he's chirping at me.
Just tell him to hang it up and send a picture of Cook's stat lines from last year.
Okay. Well, we might get it. We might get a running back to come back around to us, or we can set up.
Let's do Moss, dude.
No, Fat Keenan. Fat Keenan with Caleb. Are the bye weeks good? Sure. Or are they the same bye week?
I think the Love Caleb combo is super fun.
It is fun. That's the you want to talk about dynasties, brother.
That's so, dude. We didn't mention this when we just did a Bears Lions stack. That's an all-time clip.
And you were going to end up being right. We just didn't know it was because Fields was going to play so bad they were going to get the number 1 pick.
That was the whole point. You guys just didn't want to hear me out on it. The whole point was that they had all this draft capital.
Although I do wonder this about the Detroit Lions, if we've all become a little bit too collectively enthused about the Lions and they just kind of rode some variants and they still
I view that way about the Cardinals, where like I think people are getting a little too enthused about the Cardinals, and like I draft Kyler, I'm excited about it too. But like Kyler in particular, I don't really think he's that much better of a bet to outscore Joe Burrow and all that class of players.
Sure. I'm big on the Arizona Cardinals. I think the Cardinals can be good.
I like the Cardinals. I draft them, but I don't know. Kyler in particular, like I don't really want to be taking him in the 60s.
I can't be arguing with Gretchen Discord right now. I don't think this. I do not think Darnold keeps the job all season long. I think he's fine in some of these formats, but we're definitely going to see Nick Mullins.
Anytime your number 1 drafted player in the first round is going to have their quarterback bench, you just got to get more of them.
But what if Darnold is a chucker, man?
Davis just processed that for a little bit.
I'm really letting Gretsch get the best of me right now, and I shouldn't.
You should ignore that.
You
also let like random chat comments get to you. You gotta.
What week does Rattler start? I'm very, very woke to this. I am incredibly woke to Rattler starting.
I had to draft Rattler in a DK Millie Maker because I got like totally locked at QB.
That'll happen on DraftKings.com. That'll happen.
It's like a Drake May, Justin Fields spent in a Rattler team or something. It's dead.
Drake May teams are. I think the legendary upside guys are right about May. I think we don't need to chase him up too high. But what do you mean
them? Like that? He's a 3rd overall pick. Where were they on Stroud last year? Why did you know?
So May is definitely not going to be 100% drafted. I mean, he's going to what do you think? What do you think his total draft percentage is in this?
May? 90%, 85 minimum.
I think it's probably close. I think there was a good stretch. Damn it. I really wanted Rico Dowdle on this team. Liam, we could take a running back. We could take a tight end. We have McBride. No, there's not a tight end. That makes sense. What do you want to do, brother?
I like the Gus Bus.
Eckler is a bring back here for Bijan. And we have 2 week 12
he won't be
buys.
playing week 17.
He won't be.
I like the bus.
Oh, the Gus sucks on this team. We have Bijan Robinson.
All right, Jerry Jeudy then.
I'm taking Gabe Davis.
Okay. Read the team to me because I haven't really been paying attention, assuming I was going to leave.
Yeah. We have Jordan Love stacked with Jaden Reed. We've got Caleb Williams stacked with Keenan. We have Bijan Robinson and Chase Brown. We have Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs. CJ Stroud got snapped way ahead of ADP. Jaden Reed, Keenan Allen, Keon Coleman, Gabe Davis, Trey McBride. Same deal with Kyler. He went way early. No, he didn't go early. He just went to the wrong side of the board for me to take him.
Who was our second round pick?
Nico Collins.
Nico. Okay. And we got McBride. All right.
Yeah.
I'm up to speed.
Okay.
No, yeah. I mean, Drake May is a great upside bet. I think he's going to be starting very soon. Unfortunately, this is the reality of the NFL. Gerard Mayo's #1 concern is to optimize for keeping a job. It's not for optimize to winning games. And if you throw May out there and he doesn't look good or the team
and he's bad and
he's fired.
The ownership likes Brissett. It's like reported that Kraft likes Brissett.
No, he likes his investment in May and he's worried. And so that's what Mayo cares about first and foremost. However,
this is good information, Alex. Thank you.
That is, I mean, I don't know. That's anecdotal, but
no, that's literally not. It's it is
anecdotal. It's his experience of 150 drafts. Like,
but I think pretty clearly, he's saying that I've collected a sample of all the drafts. Alex, how many drafts have you done?
He said of my drafts.
Okay, so how many drafts have you done, Alex? 89% of the time. That sounds about right.
That's a projection too. Like, no one has the hard number.
Okay.
And also, like,
my God, the quarterback avalanche, brother. Are you seeing this? Round 12, Rodgers, Goff, Cousins, Stafford snapped. Quarterback avalanche on the turn.
That's the DK experience right there, where Rodgers and Stafford go.
Man, is there a dustier look in the queue than when you get to the ADP rankings and it's Edwards? Eckler,
I prefer Edwards strongly over Eckler and Elliott.
I think we should keep waiting. I think we should make this a 6 running back team and take
my vote would be Edwards, but if you don't want to do that, my vote would be Jerry Jeudy or Darnell Mooney.
Okay. Any of these tight ends do anything for you? I assume no.
Dalton Schultz does a little bit for me. He's the last of the tier if you want to do him.
I would have, but my fingers were not nimble enough. I would have done Schultz. I like that suggestion, but my fingers were not nimble enough. Anyways, back to Drake May. I just think it's so. Oh, I left the autopilot on. I let it auto draft.
Wait a second. Is Underdog now doing that? Where if you miss 2 picks, you go on autopilot?
It is. So I bet it is. I bet that's the 1 hour clock thing. I bet because draft thing.
We have begged for this, that they auto draft people who miss 2 picks.
It is a
when did they start doing that though?
I mean, literally just now, because I normally on stream do that with my picks.
So you think it's only because of the slow drafts, or you think it's a new thing they laid out and quietly?
I'm gonna guess it is related to getting people through slow drafts here the last week of the season, because clocks also go to 1 hour today.
Because they did it last year for like a couple months, and then they're like, nope, never mind. which is very annoying because it literally adds like a day or two of your life of waiting if people are auto drafting, just like one. If you do the
Yes, correct.
math.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna have to I'm really gonna have to figure this out. Where when I do these really long streams, I am not gonna be able to make all my slow draft picks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Just don't do slow drafts.
Liam, how like you and I again, we're in different places in our lives. Like I really want to sweat it out. I want to do like 1,000 drafts. We are different people, man.
I mean, I have over 200 fast drafts I need to do still. And it's just going to be miserable, but I'm going to do it. I totally think that Brissett could be Nathan Peterman by the halftime of the Bengals game.
Nathan
if Brissett goes out there and throws like 3 picks, we're going to see May.
I saw this in one of my Discords this morning. I think this was in Peter's Discord. Like this sports betting guy. Well, he's not a sports betting guy. He reads odd screens and finds arbitrage stuff. And he was saying that he found value on Bengals minus 15.5 alternate line. That was like one of the big values of the week.
Because of Brissett.
Because just the Patriots are bad and Brissett is bad.
Chase Brown's 5K week 1 on DK.
Free. What does a Dune say?
4K.
Super free.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Yeah. All right, I guess we got to take a running back. I just was really hoping Gus Edwards would be gone.
We have Caleb, right? Take Komet.
Let me double check on. Yeah, we're good on buys.
Yeah,
I actually am not that scared about Cole Kmet. Like I think he could still score 8 touchdowns or whatever. But you know what it is. Like I feel bad just about taking a guy who I know is a giant faller. You know.
He is, Gerald Everett's going to play, but in best ball, we don't care. Like the whole thesis of Komet is like fall in the end zone 6 to 8 times. And he can do that attached to Caleb.
Sure. And I mean, he's got contingent upside with the wide receivers. What is my DFS content coverage? So there'll be like 3 streams a week here on this channel. Maybe
Davis
one
and I are
with
doing
Liam.
a show.
Yeah, but Liam, you want to do like a whole like best board portfolio? No, it's got to be more.
No, it's going to be a DFS show that you.
It's got to be more focused for algorithmic and SEO purposes. I will have a Friday write up. It's not going to be like the walkthrough or anything like that. It literally is going to be more of like a top plays type thing on the Patreon, and I will be doing sim videos using the RotoGrinder sim tools here on the channel, and then there'll be some showdown stuff on the Patreon. That's what we're doing.
I'm still figuring out my in-season content. Wow, Mike Williams is going to play week 1. It's kind of surprising.
Pretty bullish. I bet you have a bunch of Mike Williams because he is a week 17 opponent for your favorite
I got
team.
a lot of Mike Williams because I think he's functionally mispriced.
Liam, people are saying this is my Liam year. They're saying, I'm getting all the good CLV.
You have said that.
No, people are saying it more and more. I'm hearing it all the time.
What if this is just my
Xavier Worthy? Xavier Worthy is my 75% Gabe Davis.
What are you gonna do when the Chiefs are just running out the clock starting in the second quarter against the Steelers? That's what I said, Bullock.
I mean, like truly, like that keeps me awake at night. Like it, like you asked me about my mental health the other day. That is something that plays in my mind. It's like Russell Wilson,
I care about you.
Like Herbert, right? With Caleb stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, like that is a real thing that can happen.
Well, and I think we should think about matchups. Like, I don't know, the Steelers.
Yeah, dude. It just means Worthy caught 2 touchdowns in the first quarter.
Yeah. Hey.
Let me show you. I already know the game that I'm playing for. I don't even have to think. I don't have to search. I'll show you the box score of the exact game that I'm hoping for.
If you flash the Chiefs-Rams game, I'm leaving.
It's not the Chiefs-Rams game. It's the exact opposite of the Chiefs-Rams game. This was a completely non-competitive. The Chiefs didn't score any points in the second half of this game. It did not matter.
I also think that later in the year, if the Chiefs are like looking like they're going to have to go on the road to Buffalo, they might want to get their run game going if they haven't to date.
28-0, 4 touchdowns in the second quarter.
What week of the season was this?
Would have been week 2.
Yeah,
no, week 3. So they completely shut it down. Mahomes only threw 44 passes.
Flash this comment that says many people after. Sorry, do it.
Many people.
I was speaking to some very smart people the other day. Very, very smart. Some of the smartest people were telling me, this is your Liam year. I said, wow, you're very smart. And that's nice.
Doing Trump bits is like, it is insanely good. But yeah, look at this game. Mahomes, 4 touchdowns all in the second quarter. The running backs do nothing. So Pacheco and Pirine don't matter. And it's all Xavier. This is Xavier Worthy. This is Rashee Rice. This is Travis Kelce in my imagination, and it's free. That's all we need. That's all I need. Hunter Renfrow, I can't find anything. Wait, are we saying Renfrow got signed? Because Hunter Renfrow was wide receiver 9 in half PPR.
Like 3 years ago, brother.
Yeah, like 2021. But he's not signed?
Neither is Michael Thomas.
But he's done. Hunter Renfrow's like 28 years old. Maybe younger.
Clearly he's done. When I looked up Hunter Renfrow, all I see are tweets saying, why is Hunter Renfrow not on a team?
Yeah,
someone saying, so is Hunter Renfrow's career over?
Yeah, his career definitely is over.
Wow, guys, take a lesson from Will Fuller. Don't do it.
All right. Vidal, easy pick here, right?
Yeah, unless Mason's still available.
Well, this is why I bet Mason is not. Yeah, he's gone. That's the reason why I kept wanting to divert your attention from Gus Edwards, because this was a Vidal last team.
I think they're a fun combo. Just bet against J.K. Dobbins.
See, I like betting against Edwards. I think you get the weeks. I think that J.K. Dobbins is a better version of your Jerome Ford bet.
I think he's a worse version, but he is like quite likely to be the goal line back at worst. And they play the Patriots week 17. And so
are you saying this for Dobbins or Edwards?
For Edwards. Like I think Edwards will be the goal line back.
It's just a competition for who can die faster between Edwards and Dobbins. Edwards is a very good rusher, but he's not a good running back, if that makes sense.
I think Edwards is pretty appealing behind the Chargers O-line on a team that's probably going to establish it within the 5-yard line, and he's built like a shit brick house, and it's a bet against J.K. Dobbins, which I'm continuing to do.
Mike McCarthy did just say this tweet.
Rico Dowdle, no special teams.
He just said this, no special teams. How does that make you feel?
I felt like Rico's a better bet than Zeke all season.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was really nice that week where Rico fell again.
This is crazy. Chuba Hubbard, the Chargers might lead the NFL in rushing, like literally might lead the NFL in total team rushing yards.
I think it's really bad to chase Chuba up to the 120s. Like people are
crazy bad, like terrible. All right. We again don't have any wide receivers that really make sense. Dude. Oh, I think this is a Samaj Pirine team. I think he's already gone though.
Lloyd for sure. You have Love.
100% Lloyd over 15% Pirine.
I mean, like, okay, but he's a Packer, so
I'm just Liam, I'm just out here doing bits, man. I just think people literally are just like, oh, Davis is going to be drafting Samaj Pirine, and I'm just like, yeah, stay the line, Bart. And I love to do it.
I think Pirine is appealing if we didn't have Jordan Love, but we do.
I mean, Marshawn Lloyd got bailed the fuck out by A.J. Dillon having this stinger. Emmanuel Wilson might outplay him anyway.
I think Emmanuel Wilson is a defensible dart throw.
Let's do some Emmanuel Wilson scouting, because I think he was such a low level prospect that I don't even know anything about him. What do we think the Packers? What I will say about the Packers is that they have a very specific type, and they generally draft athletes at running back. So I'm thinking he's going to look pretty good. Is he not even in the RotoViz tool? He might not even be in the RotoViz tool.
He looked good last year in his limited opportunities.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he literally is not in the RotoViz tool.
I would draft Lloyd ahead of him, but...
Well, sure. He was a third-round pick who went to USC. Emmanuel Wilson was a UDFA who attended Johnson C. Smith University for the Golden Bulls, redshirted in 2018. So he redshirted at like an FCS school, then transferred to Fort Valley State University. UDFA for the Broncos, waived, claimed by the Packers. Shout out to him. I love these dudes. I love these dudes who are just like grinders. Like just, like Andre Yoshivas is kind of a version of that. He was playing junior varsity football at Princeton and is now, starting wide receiver for the Cincinnati
Andre
Bengals.
Yoshivas looks like the Predator, dude. He's gonna fuck in the league.
He kind of looks like Puka to me. They kind of have the same build.
A sleeker Puka.
Yeah. All right. I think we do 6 running backs on this team, but is Malik Washington? Yeah. Okay. Malik Washington. You good with that?
Yeah, I was going to say him first and then
whatever.
Running back.
Yeah. You taking any Justice Hill? That one is like everyone is so familiar with the Justice Hill experience. No one wants to click him, but we would be fucking thrilled if Samaj P. Ryan matched like one of Justice Hill's good games from last year.
Here's what I'll say about Justice Hill. He's fine to mix in. Like we saw, like J.K. Dobbins went down week 1 of last year, and Justice Hill topped 20 fantasy points once all year in a game that the Ravens blew out the Dolphins, and he had like 3 games above 10 points. So if he couldn't do it with Gus Edwards as competition, and Keaton Mitchell was going to beat him straight out, and then you have to deal with Keaton Mitchell coming back later in the year, and maybe Rasheen Ali gets him, like, I don't want to be doing the Justice Hill.
My most read fantasy article of all time. This was an article that somehow got like traction, got on like Yahoo News and stuff. It was back when I worked for Sports Grid. Was Justice Hill wants you to win your fantasy football league the year he was a rookie coming out of Oklahoma State, and he did not.
Justice Hill was about to be cut from the team until Keaton Mitchell got hurt. Like if you look at the, I went back and looked at the game logs. He was losing significant work to Keaton Mitchell.
Keaton Mitchell was
going to return.
Yeah. Big Dog could do that and still like not matter. Like he gets so few
points.
Yeah. Isn't like it feels so crazy to think about that's how fantasy points are scored. Like Derrick Henry has had a legendary upside season by his standards. You would never guess this. Dalvin Cook's best season is more fantasy points, even in half PPR, than Henry's best season. Isn't that fucked up? Just to even think that that's how fantasy points work. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me either, but it is wild. Bang. Pirine, or we could do another tight end. What do you want to do?
Pirine.
Pirine or Kraft?
Pirine.
Sick. This is a good team.
Yeah, I like
he was always starting over Rasheen Ali though. I have more Rasheen Ali than Justice Hill teams because Rasheen.
Yeah, but okay, so like Derrick Henry goes down. Is Justice Hill becoming a 20 carry game guy? No, Rasheen Ali's probably going to get that grinder work.
Yeah, they do. 100%. Everyone agrees. Everyone agrees with this. Good pass protector, decent runner. They don't have to sub him out anywhere. He can kind of do everything a little bit. I mean, there will be maybe 1 punt return touchdown in the NFL the entire season.
Kyron Williams, 6 punt return touchdowns, inherently changes how teams use running back. CMC, punt return of the next year, scores 5,000 fantasy points. And
you know that good players used to do punt returns. They used to be a very common thing.
Antonio Brown, remember when Antonio Brown kicked the punter in the face for no reason?
Yes.
He ran out of his way to do that.
Des Bryant. It used to be like basically like
return punts. That's a weird one. He's not even like a shifty guy, you know?
So it basically used to be your good wide receiver that you really liked, but like that just wasn't football. Used to not be played that way. Rookie wide receivers wouldn't be playing right away. My favorite quarterback to target is, well, the quarterbacks I end up drafting the most often are Bo Nix and Drake May because they're free and they are stopgaps. But I don't know. Who's your favorite quarterback to target? It's kind of a hard question.
Joe Burrow and Dak in the 90s feels really good. Caleb and Love in the 100s feels really good.
Yeah.
Josh Allen in the 4th feels really good.
Because I kind of play backwards at quarterback, where it's like the skill position players impact who I take at quarterback, not vice versa.
Sure, yeah. Agreed, mostly. But I think it's underdone by the field to do QB than backstack.
Sure.
Drake May and Bo Nix, good. Fields doesn't feel great, but like I still do it. Levis, whatever. Purdy. I have a lot of Purdy. I love the 49ers playoff schedule.
I think it's the key to winning. If I was thinking about it backstacked,
Kyler.
I would say Kyler. Yeah. You finished my sentence. You're 100% right. All right, let's recap this team real quick and then get you out of here, Liam.
Yeah, Davis, I'm going to stream later too if you're free. I don't know if you're doing maybe
I'm
doing
something. No, I'm doing this this randomizer thing on Pete's channel. We're doing the Fantasy Feud Ship Chasers versus ETR. Bijan Robinson out of the 108. Nico Collins, Steph Diggs, Trey McBride, Jaden Reed got snapped on Stroud. I took Keenan Allen over Kyler Murray. Lived to regret the choice. Keon Coleman to get Liam to stay on the stream. Jordan Love with Jaden Reed. I do like that. Chase Brown at 104. Love that. Caleb with Keenan. Love that. Gabe Davis at 128. I like. Judy at 137. I don't love, but was a good pick on this team. Cole Kmet, I think, was a good pick on this team. Herbert, Vidal, Marshawn Lloyd is for a team that is dead at week 12 in running back. That was a nice little run. Malik Washington, P. Ryan, beautiful stuff, Liam.
I want to see it named.
I already named it. I named it Liam 50% LOL.
You're gonna be so mad when this one wins, and you're like, it could have been 14%.
Liam, I would never. Liam, I really mean this. We have a 108 again. I will get more happiness out of everyone on social media and Twitter and everything. No, it has nothing to do with you. I mean, I love you and I'm friends with you, and it would be fun to that. It's more about every time I would get on one of these streams or go on someone's show, they'd be like, oh, I disagree. And I'd be like, have you won $1.5 million playing fantasy football? I don't think so. Fucking speak to the belt. That is what is going to give me joy. Tell the people what time you're going to stream, about the stream. I have to go pee before this final one.
Okay. I don't really know when I'm going to stream. I'm going to go eat some breakfast. I'm going to stream sometime soon, though. I will have an article out soon, just over at beatbestball.com. Just looking at the depth charts and dumpster diving for defensible guys to mix in. You know, who survived roster cutdowns, anything to glean there. This is something I do every year anyway, so figured I'd just write it out. Like and subscribe to Davis's channel. You can check out my channel too. Have a great day. I will do you the courtesy of waiting until Davis returns, and then I will bid you adieu.
What a good dude. Yeah, Liam, that's the thing. You need to start doing this. You need to start being like, oh yeah, you think I'm wrong about the Bills? Guess what? I drafted 75% Gabe Davis and changed my life, so eat shit.
You know, Davis, it's not hard for me to play the villain role anyways. Like, people, I'm opinionated. I share them. Some people like to dislike me. Some people love me, you know. We got lovers and haters, so I'm a pretty humble guy. Like, I will jokingly say shit like that, like tell it to the belt, tell it to the ring. but
man.
it's not really.
I would not be joking. I think you are joking. I would not be joking. I'd be like, why would I listen to you?
Yeah, like I when people come in my chat, and like I used to get what does this guy know? He only won one high stake, or he only won one lottery sized field.
Sure.
And then the haters really had to quiet up when I won 2 more contests. So I don't know, man. Like I would jokingly tell you that, like, tell it to the fucking ring, but I wouldn't like believe that, you know.
All right, I'm giving you just for being here. I'm giving you the honorary 4% for point.
Hey, you need to do some percentages, but
specifically this year, because I am seeing the ball so well, and it would like no one would be able to argue it was luck because my teams are so good. It would be extra insufferable. That's true.
Davis, I would love nothing more than for you and I to chop up BBM5
on a Bills team.
If one of our co-stream teams is in the hunt, I'm gonna try to find a way for us to watch that game live together, week 17. Whether I'm going to St. Louis, probably me going to St. Louis, because fun fact, my cousin who lives in St. Louis, I was at his bachelor party the year I won BBM2, and then the next year I went to his house to watch the week 17 games when the Bills-Bengals game got canceled, and I won those contests. So I would definitely be there with him, and then I think we would try to link up with you too. So that'd be sick. Peace, guys.
Yeah. Later, man. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Liam is out of here. Gonna get some of the background music going. Let's try Night Driving. I think this is the one that I used yesterday. Lions Niners is the last game of week 17. Does that make you more or less interested in drafting Deebo Samuel? Probably makes me a little bit more interested in drafting Deebo Samuel, and definitely makes me want to draft maybe a little bit more Jameson Williams. What if, okay, hear me out, guys. The team that I advanced to the finals is a worthy Mahomes, Chase Brown team with Brock Bowers at tight end. And Sion Vaki is my round 18th pick. And Sion Vaki is the guy who scores the final touchdown of the game to win $1.5 million for me. A guy who started out as a bit, delivering me $1.5 million. It's fun to imagine. Yeah, I probably have not done very many double running back starts. Period. Honestly, probably none in Best Ball Mania. I mean, maybe one here or there, but definitely not a key part of my strategy at all. But I mean, I've got 4 more drafts left. So what's the harm in living a little? But also, I mean, can you imagine a higher ceiling start than Bijan Robinson and Devin Achane? It's beautiful. How many more Best Ball Manias do I have? I need to figure that out for planning my day. I have 5 more Best Ball Manias, and the contest is 94% full. So there actually was just a quote that came out about Bowers. Raiders coach Antonio Pierce says he feels really good about rookie tight end Brock Bowers playing in the season opener versus the Chargers. Bowers has been dealing with a foot issue the past 2 weeks and has not practiced. Quote, sometimes you've got to protect them from themselves. Yeah, we can shut it down at running back here. Devin Achane is the running back pick for people who don't like to draft running backs. And Bijan Robinson is kind of the case that way too. So I'll probably push this at running back. I mean, I will probably push this to past the Chase Brown range, to maybe even to the Vidal range or something like that. If anyone's listening to this, I didn't just say that, but I definitely will go pretty late there. Obviously, just going to be, and this is probably a good team to skip elite tight end, right? Probably Trey McBride or whatever. Does not work that well here, just because I'd be so far behind at wide receiver. All right, no real way to get around it. Got to take a Texans wide receiver here. I mean, these guys are literally 34.5, 34.6. Let's take the younger guy. Let's take the fun guy. We already did the fun thing with Devin A. Chain. We're going to take the younger guy. We're going to take the dude named Tank. Meatwad established with Nez last night that Bijan and A. Chain is Zoomer high T, middle high T, if you will. Yes. Yeah. Perfect team. Yeah. This is, I think this team probably, we could do hyper fragile and do 3 tight ends. Yeah, I happened to log on Twitter right as Liam was leaving, and Nick Wagner reports 49ers wide receiver Brandon Ayuk, again, not on the practice field at the early portion of Thursday practice. Starting to be the point that even like we took him in the FFPC main event last night, and I didn't really feel that good about taking him at 5'3". So didn't feel that good about taking him at 5'3". Do with that what you will. Have you considered assembling the smallest team of all time? I mean, I guarantee, I bet my bottom dollar, I've got A-Chain, Tank, Worthy, Kyler, and Greg Dortch on the team. So I guarantee I've got that somewhere. We are in a very precarious position here. I might have just completely lied to you guys about wide receiver here, because if Dan Tino takes T. Higgins here, okay, he takes Hurts. Do I take T. Higgins, a player I don't like, or do I take Laporta, a player I do like, who sets up another quarterback? I think structurally I just have to take T. Higgins, which doesn't feel that good, but it's fine. Cooper, I'm not as into on this team, so I should explain this. Cooper, I'm not as into on this team because I need to be setting up quarterback stuff, because I'm not going to really want to take Tua. I'm not really going to want to take, I guess I would take Tua with A-Chain. I would take Kirk with Bijan, but I greatly prefer trying to smash Burrow at 89 or 104 to taking Deshaun Watson. I just, like, honestly, for me, I got enough Watson. I have enough Watson. I've got 5.8%, $393 worth of Deshaun Watson teams, that if Watson is the guy you need, I'm like, whatever, I've got the exposure blanket. But I really am not trying to take him right now, because I don't imagine that he is going to be the shoulder. It's not even about Watson playing bad or Deshaun Watson is a nasty man. I mean, like, all that stuff is true. I don't like Deshaun Watson. I don't want to root for him. He sucks. But it's also that the shoulder injury is very real, and I just don't want to be taking him. According to Cleve TA, this was always going to happen. Let me go see if I can find this tweet from Cleve TA. He's a big Browns fan. He's a big sports bettor. But the way he explained it was that it was super obvious. The money is fully guaranteed. The cap dollar today is worth more than a cap dollar in 2028. So basically, it's just saving money that goes into next season. They had the money to do it this year, so they rolled it over to this year. Wouldn't taking a giant game baller be good game theory wise in the way that taking Rashi is bad? Yeah, that's basically how it works. Giant fallers are good because they provide more points to your roster, but they also provide more unique combinatorial situations. Not going to pull Worthy up here. I'm going to give the Rashi Rice drafter, I'm going to give RS Kevin a chance to take him. But if he doesn't take him, I will take him. There are multiple wide receivers that we can take at this next pick that will set up a quarterback. Let's see, we're pretty live. We are pretty live for Dell though. Where did Nico go? So Nico and Diggs, the Nico and Diggs drafter took Hurts. So this is an ideal team to push Stroud. So I'm gonna giga push Stroud on this team. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. we've got other options. Feeling like a Roma Dunze team. You definitely have a better chance to advance more teams. I wouldn't say that you have a great chance of winning. I would guess those are different. What are you saying? I'm misunderstanding. So I gotta take Rome over Pitts here. Just gonna get too far behind at wide receiver if I don't. You're saying the Lions? Who plays outside week 16? Yes, yeah, I'm in a bunch of home leagues, man. I'm in a 16-team home league dynasty league with my dad, and all his buddies. I am in a league with some of my friends here in St. Louis, and I am in a home league that has existed for, I think, 17 years with all of my friends from high school and college. Big home league guy. I have a lot of home league content on my Patreon, patreon.com/Davis Mattek. You can go and check that out. No AJ Dillon exposure, 0.0% across 800 teams or whatever. Yeah, taking Fowler's is EV, of course. Completely off topic, but if you spoke on it, but yeah, no, I can't. I can't maintain. So this will be, I'll get gold status or whatever on DraftKings, but I will not be able to get to the what is it, Onyx and then Platinum. Yeah, I will no longer be able to get to Platinum status on DraftKings anymore because they've just ruined the way that tier credits and achievements work. I think it's 500 for NFL this year, which is just, I mean, it's insulting. Dang, I was going to take Kittle there. So we've got Roman Keenan. I took Keenan on the last one. Honestly, I really want to just take JSN here. So that's what I'm going to do. No, Roman Keenan. Okay. Damn, my fingers are not nimble. My fingers are not nimble. Yeah, I won't be able to get to so I'll get to Platinum, but I won't be able to get to Diamond anymore because of the way they do their crowns. My favorite pairing for 2 tight end builds, Kelsey and Noah Fant. Travis Kelsey and Noah Fant. Yeah, I won't even be lowering my play in DFS. I'll still be playing cash games. I'll still be doing MME for showdown and single entry high stakes, not quote unquote high stakes, like $50, $100 single entry type stuff. But yeah, who are your highest exposure late round tight ends? Oh, it's definitely Noah Fant. I know that off the top of my head. Noah Fant, 14%. Hunter Henry, 11%. Juwan Johnson, 11%. Greg Dulcich, 10%. Are late round tight ends that I have more than the field. Am I crazy for loving Dalton Schultz after the preseason? I mean, the issue, I suppose, is that Dalton Schultz is probably a guy where I would be out in managed leagues and probably more in best ball leagues because I think his target share is going to be so low. He just is not going to be, he's just not going to be playing very much with, well, he will be playing, but he won't be getting too many targets playing with Diggs, Dell, and the like. So this is where you guys are about to say that I'm playing bad, but we'll see. Let's Let's see, what did the Joe Mixon drafter do? The Mixon drafter doesn't have a quarterback, so I'm definitely potentially going to lose him there. But again, the Diggs Collins drafter would have to take him when they don't have a second running back and they don't have a fourth wide receiver. So we'll see. We'll see if I push Stroud. I mean, I've done it a couple times. I've done when it's possible. I've done Diggs, Nico, and Tank Dell, but there's of course a point of diminishing returns. What you are hoping to do is that you are hoping that they ping pong the right way in both the playoff weeks and in the regular season. I mean, we were definitely sleeping on James Conner earlier in the offseason. We were 100% sleeping on him earlier in the offseason. There's no doubt about that. I think his ADP is now appropriate. Jameson Williams went shit. Well, maybe I do just take Stroud. Right? What am I gaining? What am I gaining from pushing Stroud around now? I guess I'm gaining a wide receiver that is not going to be there. No, I am going to take Stroud. Yeah. All right. No, I don't think the new return rules will have any big impact on DST scoring. You see this happen again. The auto, I guess I need to remind myself not to do that. Actually I do like that because I want my drafts to finish as quickly as possible. I don't know. I guess Daniel said he was going to take him. Permission to make Trey Sermon a thing. I mean, it depends on how you want to play the game, Bone Capone. It depends on how you want to play the game. Do you want to be a talent agnostic drafter? Because let me tell you, the situation is very good. But I don't know if it's I just think Trey Sermon is so bad at football. Like, it's very hard to find guys who are so bad at football, but he is so bad at football that I think even in this situation, he might not be able to get there. Oh man. All right, we are pretty dead at wide receiver here. Cortland Sutton, Curtis Samuel, Romeo Dobbs. Shakir, no real correlation there. Could do Burrow. No, I'm not going to do Burrow at ADP. I'm going to take Brock Bowers. Welcome to the team, Bowers. There is our elite tight end. Rico Dowdle, great pick in fantasy football. Listoic, he got fake cut. He got fake cut where he is going to be reclaimed back on the team. I also need to be making some slow draft picks. So, because I'm gonna get timed out in some of these. Matt Waldman had Sermon as his highest graded running back. Well, shout out to Matt Waldman, but that seems pretty bad because he was not a very good player in college and was like a timeshare guy. But maybe he plays the game differently than I do. In fact, I'm sure he plays the game in a different way than I do. I hope I'm not missing. I know Peter's stream starts at 3 p.m. ET, but for some reason, I always think I'm going to be late to other people's streams. Yeah, Sutton wouldn't have been awful, but not looking to jam him in. Jacoby, I mean, I don't know. Depends on what you're doing. Parker Washington, weird weird prospect. I actually kind of like Parker Washington, but the real answer to what I'm doing when I run out of Jaguars is that I take Traylon Burks when I run out of Jaguar stuff to do. Traylon Burks, better player, better prospect. Yeah, this is very funny. August Trey Sermon is June CH. LRZ not eligible on DraftKings. Can't take him. Yeah, Brenton's also not taking Brenton Strange. I do have Brenton Strange in a couple dynasty leagues actually. Let's look up the Parker Washington prospect profile. Did declare very young. I do remember being pretty into him. Let's check the Parker Washington Sims draft position 185. At least there are some guys I've heard of here. At least some guys that I've heard of here. The DeMarcus Route, that's so funny. St. Brown? How about that? Daniel Braverman? No one. Dontavian Wicks? All right, maybe I'm back in. Maybe I'm back in. All right. I'm not gonna do Burrow here. I'm just too far behind at wide receiver. I gotta take one of these GB guys. Kind of tough, honestly. Kind of tough to decide here. Burrow is the clear ADP value. All right, I got plenty of time. Why no lung for Chubb? I don't know. He had like a catastrophic knee injury. That was Parker Washington. I could see it. Yeah, I'm gonna take Romeo Doubs if he's there. All right. This is how you pretend to know ball. $2,102 of Dontavian Wicks. Let's do a smidgen of Romeo Doubs. And I'm going to click the draft button instead of winding it down so I don't potentially go on autopilot. And now I've got a lot of picks coming around. Burrow and Caleb Williams went. That saved me from kind of a heart-rendering decision. That was by far the best prospect comparison chart for a player I've seen. Yeah, normally it's absolute guys who are ass. But those were some good players. What strategy do you like for a sit and go? Elite tight end is what if I was playing sit and goes on Underdog, I would be doing elite tight end. For the audio listeners, we're cooking a little something nice here. Bijan Robinson, Devin A-Chain, Tank Dell, T. Higgins, Roma Dunze, Jackson Smith and Jigba, CJ Stroud stacked with Dell, Brock Bowers, and Romeo Doubs. Have you guys ever, like in my head, Jackson Smith and Jigba has an S in it. Jackson. Where does the S sound come from? Where does the S sound come from? Interesting. They were interviewing Gabe Davis and asked him about the other wide receivers. He said Parker is electric and he can't take his eyes off him, and that BTJ has had a lot of pressure and was still learning. That sounds about right. Honestly, that sounds about right to me. I buy it. Jack's on. What do you mean it's an X? Does that sound right to you guys? It does not sound right to me that there's not an S in his name. That's just me. All right. Am I going to get double Packers wide receivers? Oh, let's... Free. There's not an obvious thing I need to be doing here, right? Love is gone. Caleb is gone. Burrow's gone. I'm waiting on running back. I could take Njoku and be done. I don't have a Miami piece. No, because Schultz is a potential option. So I'm gonna do Dontavian Wicks. Jax. Oh, damn. This team will probably be a 3 tight end team, but it really just depends. Like if you take, yeah, I apparently need to start getting some more sleep. This is my 4th team that we've done. This is team number 4. Jackson. Okay, there we go. That makes sense phonetically to me. Thank you. That makes sense phonetically. Samaj P. Ryan is on the Kansas City Chiefs, Eric. Too late, brother. All right. I think that is a nice little recovery. That is a nice little recovery at a wide receiver to have started running back, and have a wide receiver room of Tank Dell, T. Higgins, Roma Dunze, JSN, Romeo Dobbs, and Dontavian Wicks. So I just need one good Green Bay wide receiver score in the playoffs. And I will alternate, and I just need one breakout between these two. And I'm right back on track. Top 2 win it. Top 2 win it. So I did just look up Emmanuel Wilson, I think right before you got in the stream. The deal with Emmanuel Wilson is that like he could not be less of a prospect. It's crazy that he made an NFL roster, and more so it's crazy that he made an NFL roster over Patrick Taylor. Like, where's Patrick Taylor right now? Patrick Taylor was once in a backfield with Darrell Henderson, Tony Pollard, Antonio Gibson, and another NFL running back. I got to look it up. At Memphis, and was getting touches in that backfield, which would indicate to me that he's probably a better player. Yes, I do. 49ers, all right. I assumed he wasn't out of the NFL. Oh, is he secretly a Nepo baby? Yes, I do in-season DFS content. It will be both on this channel and on my YouTube page, on my Patreon page, patreon.com/DavisMattek. All right, interesting spot here. The last of the contingent elite running backs goes here, Trey Benson. Also kind of the last tier of like good wide receivers. Damn, Schultz already went. Okay, Schultz already went. I think I do need one of these elite contingent. Oh, and Benson went too. Frick. Ty Chandler goes at my next pick, but I don't feel strongly. I need a Vikings bring back. We'll go Ty Chandler. Okay. He was very solid at Memphis. Yeah, Pete and James to win are great dudes. Rico Dowdle was asked. Yeah, this was a good quote. He's got 2 kids. That's all the motivation he need. Other than Lloyd's career starting like Kentre Miller's, great value. Jaleel for me. Jalen Polk was maybe the other guy I thought about taking there to set up a second quarterback. So I don't really have it. I guess Gino is set up as my second quarterback right now, which is fine. Hey, he's my only option at second quarterback, so I better hope no one else has any other ideas. Who did the Metcalf drafter? The Metcalf drafter has Joe Burrow and Tua. A Lockett drafter has Jordan Love and Josh Allen. And the Kenneth Walker drafter has Joe. He doubled up. Okay. So I'm probably safe to push Gino around. This is another wide receiver pick. No Raven makes sense here. No command. I could take Mooney. No Brown makes sense here. 2 Packers already. No Bronco makes sense. Oh, Mooney goes. These rounds I'm starting to really get how many drafts you've done. It's a great point. 4-hour streams, mental health at a 0, and you guys are not liking. Seems kind of rude. To be honest. All right, on the clock. Sharbs is kind of vaguely interesting. There's not really a second quarterback worth taking. I'm going to take another wide receiver. This team needs just a little bit of stealing. Downs is only discounted because of an ankle injury that seems like it's healed. Leggett is also ceiling. Michael Wilson is also some ceiling. I think Leggett is probably the best fit for this team, though. So I'm going to do Leggett. I'm going to press the button instead of auto drafting. I know that was ahead of ADP for Leggett, but you were asked how to look at your. Yes, I have a Best Ball Explorer account. I've not uploaded my CSV. You guys might find it hard to believe, but when I get off of doing a 4-hour stream of Best Ball, I do sometimes need to take like an hour to not have my eyes bleed at a computer screen and look at Best Ball teams. So I've not uploaded my shit to Best Ball Explorer yet. I probably should. Honestly, I am probably leaving some EV on the table by not doing it. All right, so now I guess we did open up. It suck if Bryce was the second quarterback on this team, but we did open it up. Bryce looked a little bit better in the preseason. You're welcome, Justin. Now, I have 3 dogs right now, Zach. Trace dogs. My sister-in-law came out and let them out for me in the middle of the stream, which is why I was able to go for this long. I would not have been able to stream so long, so that was very nice and helpful. Blue light glasses, the science on those is sort of interesting. They're very good at night, but you don't really want to have them during the day because it confuses your circadian rhythm. It kind of puts you into a weird spot in the middle of the day, which Hawkinson is good on this team, but if I take Hawkinson on this team, I'm taking 3. Taking 3. It's so funny. You get into these spots. It's why I never do 0 running back teams. Or it's why I never do these double hero RB teams. So I've got Bijan and Achane and Chandler. I'm feeling great. But I'm up on the clock and I'm like, wow, all these running backs, these are the running backs I like. I like Tyler Algier, who I can't take because I have Bijan. I like Julio. I've got 12% of him. I got 12% Ray Davis. I got 20% Braylon Allen. I got 8% Bucky Irving. I'm trying to get more Khalil Herbert. I got 11% Antonio Gibson. I'm trying to jam more of all of these guys. And it just does really go to show why it's so easy to just draft the same team over and over again. Why you just want to be like, oh, I have the 8th pick. I take Bijan. I take Nico. I take a Texans wide receiver. I take Trey McBride. I take a Bears wide receiver. I take CJ Stroud. But this is a good-ass team to take TJ Hawkinson. Very good team to take TJ Hawkinson. Bang, bang. Like that. Yeah, Vidal is good. It's why you want to start with 6 wide receivers, It's just the teams just look better. They just feel better. This would also be a good spot to take Mason because I've got my 2 weeks covered. I've got my elite handcuff. Actually, I don't know. Maybe it's not a good Mason team because you kind of want a third guy. If you're only going to take 4 running backs, you want your 4th guy to be a guy that you expect to generate some points and not to be a 0 unless there's an injury. I don't think there's a huge overlap between Best Ball Bros and Poker Bros. You see more of that in DFS than you do in this. It's true. 0 RB is sweeping the nation. Yeah, dude, imagine looking at this team. This team is actually fire. And you're giving up on the best opportunity you could ever have to win 5% of $1.5 million. Khalil Herbert goes. All right, dude. All right. Khalil Herbert goes. Antonio Gibson is another version of that. And he's got a week 14 bye. And if we have to, that gives us another quarterback if we get owned. Yeah, I will max on DraftKings. I've got like 130 done. You do not have to be a channel member. You just have to sub for the 5% offer. No need to pay. Free to enter. But I'd love if you did become a member of the channel. You'd be able to hang out with us in Discord. You'd get some cool emojis in the chat. You'd get a cool little badge next to your name. And eventually there will be members only streams and things like that. You know, I'm not going to cast in the airs. I'm not a big enough YouTube personality to be doing videos just for members. But eventually that will be the case if you become a member of the channel. Bijan Robinson, Devin A. Chang, Tank Dell, T. Higgins, Roma Dunze, Jackson Smith and Jigba, CJ Stroud, Brock Bowers, Romeo Dubs, Dontavian Wicks, Ty Chandler, Xavier Legette, TJ Hawkinson, Antonio Gibson. So I guess we got Darnold live at quarterback as well with a week 6 bye. So we've got 2 Vikings, 2 Packers. Have Stroud with Tank. No correlated pieces yet for Bijan. No correlated pieces yet for A-Chain, which honestly I'm not really. Wow. Jad, welcome, man. You're the man. No, dude, you're not going to be. You think you're going to be homeless? You think you're going to be homeless? Antonio Gibson, haven't you heard, dude? He's a better structural fit for the zone running scheme that the Patriots want to use. Thoughts on Pacheco? His range of outcomes is definitely a little bit worse. The Chiefs do like to pass so much around the end zone that I don't love him. I think he's probably a pretty obvious dynasty sell high. I don't have very much of him in best ball because he just goes at such a weird range. Got to take him over the Texans wide receivers. I like the Texans wide receivers more. Is it crazy to hope for a min cash with one guy injured? No. It's probably crazy to think you can win. I don't know. I suppose it's possible. But yeah, you do definitely want to the year that Liam won Best Ball Mania, Justin Fields contributed 2.8 points to the lineup. Do I think Underdog messed up with the sprint and the marathon? No. They want to be trying new stuff. That is optimal. They're doing that on purpose. So if they're doing that on purpose, they always knew that kind of thing was in the range of outcomes. I did like John Mechie as a prospect, but it's hard to start your career like literally getting cancer. You know, I just don't know. I don't know how that works. Okay. Gino got taken, huh? Gino got taken. All right, I'm going to take Drake May then. With Antonio Gibson. If Chase Brown fumbled in week 1, Chase Brown fumbled or got Joe Burrow blown up, or if Xavier Worthy was actually nothing about Xavier Worthy could make me panic. Yeah, if the sprint was $10, it would be jammed full. Yeah, now that Jewish McCaffrey is not posting in every Best Ball Discord for people to enter it, it's not going to do as well. A couple of my favorite places. Number one, like most like authentic places. I do have like 3 or 4 generic Prince teams. Kansas City, Arthur Bryant's on 18th and Brooklyn is like to me that is the optimal barbecue joint to go to. Osteria Il Central on the South Plaza. I love, huge fan of that. Hugh Golf Bullock few golf. There are a couple of courses there that I really like. Damn, where did Gino go in this? Was he an auto draft? Oh, he did Fant to set up a second tight end. All right. Shout out. No tilt there. Yeah, I mean, Power and Light is fun if you're trying to go get hammered or whatever. How many straight dead teams? In Best Ball Mania, none, I don't think. In Best Ball Mania, I literally don't think any. There is a super fun par 3 course in Swope Park. It's for the first tee. Like, it's like a kid's course kind of, but it is a blast. It's so they have a par 3 and they also have like an executive course. So there are a couple short, easy par 4s. That is very fun. I don't like Gates as much. Some people do really like Gates. Yeah. But I'm gonna guess overall, Peppertoni overall, in 1,000 teams between all these sites and everything, I'm gonna guess I've got, about to be up on the clock. I need Yoshibas pick. Yoshibas kind of fits every build, honestly. Say wax on. This guy's behind on the stream. Oh, you guys aren't gonna believe this, but my AirPods did die again. Every 4-hour stream, they gotta die a little bit. What can you do? As long as the microphone still works. I am not doing another one. I have got to go eat a bite of food before I hop into Peter's randomizer stream with the ETR guys. But the way that that's always how it goes, man. When I switch around, my microphone does cut out. I don't smoke the devil's lettuce. People always think that. People always think that I'm a big stoner, but I really don't smoke weed. The rap sheet report, yeah. Rice is not getting suspended. He's not playing. Well, he is playing. He's playing 17 games this season, assuming that he doesn't get injured. I know. I really get it. People just are always thinking I'm a big pot smoker, but not the case. Damn, quarterbacks went nuts, dude. This is a real DraftKings ass room. 175 Levis. I take May. Darnold goes. Cousins. But then, that's so funny. Cousins goes so far after ADP. It's just totally random. It is definitely the hair. And I don't think the mustache helps either. Yeah, I don't think that the mustache helps either. You just drafted Russ. I do. I actually do look like the high school weed pusher. There's just no way around that. That is true. Man, Drake May on this team, huh? Oh my God, guys. It's double week 14 buys. And I knew that. Man. And they're really all gone. All the quarterbacks who are going to be starting in week 14 are literally gone. I dropped the baby, man. I did not land the plane. Daniel Jones is not going to be starting in week 14. Daniel Jones is definitely not starting. This is the only thing to do. It's the only thing to do. Justin Fields. Yeah. Had to be Fields. There was nothing else to do. Okay. Semi got that one back on track. Now we have a 3-4-8-2 with Stroud, May, and Fields, Bijan Robinson, Devin Achane, Ty Chandler, and Antonio Gibson, Tank Dell, T. Higgins, Roma Dunze, JSN, Romeo Dobbs, Dontavian Wicks, Xavier Legette, Andre Yoshibas, and Brock Bowers. and TJ Hawkinson. I wanted to do a 3-quarterback team, but now we really can't. Yeah, at least one dead team now. At least one dead. Ah, man, I hate that. Don't you hate when you've got a good, fun team started and then it just dies? No, you can't. You're not taking Russell Wilson, bro. I'm not taking Russell Wilson. All right, final pick. I guess it's got to be a Patriot. It's got to be a Patriot. Patriots. Osborne, Bourne, Baker. Start saying which ones do you want in chat? Which one do you guys want? Osborne, Bourne, Baker. Whichever one you guys want, I'll take. Baker, Bourne, Osborne. The Killer Bees. Bourne, Thornton, Tyquan, Bourne. Well, that's not serious. Bourne. All right, I think Bourne is the informal winner. So I'm going to take Kendrick Bourne. Going to wrap that one up. That was a disappointing end, realizing the double week 14 buys. Bijan Robinson, Devin A. Chain, Tank Dell, T. Higgins, Roma Dunze, Jackson Smith and Jigba, CJ Stroud, Brock Bowers, Romeo Dobbs, Dontavian Wicks, Ty Chandler, Xavier Legette, TJ Hawkinson, Antonio Gibson, Drake May, Andre Yoshibas, Justin Fields, and Kendrick Bourne. I've got 5 more drafts left to do in Best Ball Mania. I'm going to try and stream my final one tomorrow. I crashed the plane. I'm going to try and do my final one tomorrow on stream in the afternoon with Jacob Gibbs from CBS. It might be full by then. If it is full by then, I'm still streaming, but it might be full by then. I'm going to go have some lunch real quick. I'll be back in 30 minutes on Peter's stream. Consider subscribing to patreon.com/DavisMattek. Consider becoming a member of the YouTube channel. I love all you guys, and I will see you back later this afternoon and for sure tomorrow on the stream. Have a great day.